From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, did Nintendo show new Switch tech at the museum on the Museum Direct? And Timesplitters is back, and in portable form, if you can do it like that.
I got them all, finally.
I'm putting my old toy box to good gaming use.
NintenDomain Podcast, episode 435. Your place to hear Nintendo fans talk about Nintendo Directs, no matter how short they are, and other things. And we are your hosts. I'm Trey Chastity Detroit Johnson.
I'm Jeremy. This new theme ain't so painful. Mikowski.
I'm John Refurbished Knitter.
So in between episodes, there was a Nintendo Direct of sorts, kind of. There was a Museum Direct that kind of got announced out of nowhere. Did you know about this one before, any of you? Or did it just kind of show up?
I knew like 2 days.
Like 2 days before, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know they were going to do a Direct about it or whatever. And I was kind of, I was just like, whatever, to their, I'm sure the museum's cool if you go there, but I actually did like the Direct. I found that, Nintendo found a way to make museums entertaining. Not that they aren't, but I like the idea of giant controllers. Which they have there. I want to play Super Mario 64 with a giant 64 controller and see if I can beat it in the time. I guess not. I saw when in the video Miyamoto is playing Super Mario Brothers 1 on Famicom with an assistant.
Yep.
And you can see a little timer in the corner where it only gives you like 2 minutes before it kicks you off. So I don't think I would be able to beat Super Mario 64 in the time. But
I thought it was fascinating for those giant controllers that they actually went with like the US and European NES style versus the Famicom controllers. Or maybe they do have a Famicom controller somewhere, they just didn't show it.
Well, they did. That was the one that Miyamoto used with the Famicom controller. The one that he played in front of the camera with his assistant. That was a Famicom controller.
The giant one? Oh, I thought he was playing on the right.
No, it was Famicom.
I watched it one time while I was at work.
Yeah. No, he played the Famicom one, and there's different, they have both of them. And there's also a room that shows, of course, everything in there. Like, here's all the different versions of things. And they have, they have display cases that have, like, all the toys that they made before they made video games. And you can find, like, the very first light gun there that's not the Zapper, like the original light gun that they made before that and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, you can look at all that, and it has all their games on display. And there's there's, like, a whole bunch of screens that have, like, their own, like, specific speaker, so it's supposed to be like if you stand in front of it, you can mostly hear the sound directed to you from there. So yeah, I'd like to see how well that works, but it's a cool idea. I'm sure it's going to bleed from one to another. Yeah, and there's giant controllers. They got that from me. You saw my giant controller that I made. I was the one who invented that. Nintendo had not made giant 64 controllers, and they saw my giant 64 controller I made in high school, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to rip that off and put it in our museum." Except
I bet you they don't have any DSs that are humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a human DS once.
Still a trailblazer on that one.
Jeremy already also did a giant DS, so you were ahead of the game on that one. I got pictures of it that could prove it. It used to be our podcast icon of that.
You should wear that costume when you go on your honeymoon to Japan and we'll walk by the Nintendo Museum like
that should be your
casual, like whistling, whatever.
Who knows where the hell that thing went?
Well, you can make you can make another one. Yeah, I don't think you have it anymore. It was made out of like pizza boxes or something.
No thanks.
You should just wear it for your wedding, and you could wear the DS box, and it'll.
That's actually a good idea. I think I'll run past my spouse.
And Shauna can write on you with the stylus, and that'll be how you seal the deal. Make it like an actual like.
I'll be at the wedding. I'll be like, "Where's my stylus?" And they'll be like, "Stylist? and they'll think I have a personal stylist, and I'll be like, "No, my fucking stylus," and then
Oops.
they'll understand then because I said a bad word.
Sure.
Then you'll sign the marriage certificate on the bottom screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like sign it on the touchscreen, but tape like a Sharpie to the end of a broomstick. I think that's what we used, was a broomstick without the broom on the end as a stylus.
Yep.
Something like that. But yeah, I thought the video was pretty cool. Yeah, there's Hanafuda stuff obviously, and you can take classes on how to make Hanafuda cards.
That was
you
cool.
can make your own personal Hanafuda cards. That's fun. I like my favorite thing was the room with the giant controllers, because you see Miyamoto talking in the corner, and there's a big 64 controller next to him, and there's two Wiimotes behind him, and there's one person is holding the Wiimote like off the ground, and it's like the Wiimote is roughly the size of a person, and it looks like they're playing like the airplane game from Wii Sports Resort, like on a TV, and I'm like, I want to do that. That looks stupid. Let's do that.
Looks really dumb.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like.
Do they have the wrist straps
fun.
just like tied around your body, like to your waist?
I didn't see any wrist straps. So they're breaking the rules.
Oh my gosh, they're breaking their own rules.
Is there a big grip on it?
Yeah. It's got the big condom thing. No, it didn't have
and
that.
It's got the Motion Plus you had to buy separate, attached to the end of it. The dongle,
size of a car battery.
Well, the newer ones they built it into it, so maybe they're being modern and have it in there. But no, they showed I took a picture and zoomed in because I really wanted there to be a giant Wii U controller somewhere with a super giant screen that you could play like Nintendo Land with or something. That would be awesome. But I didn't see any like evidence of a giant Wii U controller. So boo. If that doesn't exist, then boo. But in the background, you see giant Super Nintendo controllers playing Super Mario Kart and A Link to the Past is what I saw from that picture. So cool. And yeah, and you can watch Miyamoto play through the first level on a Famicom controller with an assistant. And it's funny because he puts his hands up first, and then they see him do it, and then they do it. It's like they're waiting for him to show any emotion towards the game, and then be like, "Yeah, we got the flag. We get to the end of the level. Cool."
So I thought it was pretty cool at the end of it. They're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's a rent by the hour hotel in the back."
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Show their old hotels in there.
Yeah, did that get left out of the museum? I bet it did.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not going to mention that.
Probably so.
It's not video game related.
Whether it's true or not, it could be. It could have video game.
Although it does relate
rooms.
directly to the Love Tester, which is a documented device.
Yeah, I didn't see that in there.
That's true.
From what I saw.
I wonder if they could get to the museum, you could take the Nintendo taxi cabs.
Is Ken Griffey Jr. just like hanging out in one of the rooms? It's like, yeah.
There's also a giant balance board in there. That's what I missed between the Wiimotes and.
Oh, you can actually play with the Ultra Machine. That's pretty cool.
With the balance board, the plastic one. So maybe that was something from Wii Fit or something. It's the one where you direct the ball through the maze or whatever. It's like what they're playing. So that's cool. You can stand on that.
I got the impression from this direct that they were showing just little pockets here and there of the museum. I don't think they didn't do such a good job of taking you through the museum and giving a sense of how big it is. But I'm also thinking they're probably playing a lot of cards close to their chest because they like surprises and they want people to know some of the things, but not all the things that are there. I would be concerned about how much time can you really spend at this museum? Is it half an afternoon or is it a full day kind of thing? What do you guys think?
I didn't think it looked that big. I don't know. I mean, there's
I didn't think so either.
There's some activities. I don't want to forget that there's a light gun shoot 'em up thing that you can do where you can shoot various Mario characters like Shy Guys and Koopas or whatever, and you can use either the Super Scope or the Zapper if you want. And there's a big screen.
I kind of wonder if you won't need to reserve in advance or something. Maybe not.
I'm sure you will, at least for the first couple months while it's really popular. I'm sure they'll do a queuing system or whatever.
Go to Kyoto. Now I have to go to Kyoto.
Yeah, you got to check
Where were
it
you
out.
planning on going for your honeymoon?
Just Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's
What's
it's
the distance?
costly to go from one to another,
It's a different
if you gotta
island,
get other, especially if you got to get other hotels and whatnot. I like the room where you get to test out the baseball thrower thing with the foam bat.
Yeah.
And you hit stuff and it reacts like when you hit it. Like
that's fun.
That's cool. That definitely seems
like a printer. And
yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like an old Japanese like living room or something. Where you're like knocking at, trying to aim at certain items on the wall.
Yeah, and they'll like do stuff if you hit them. So that's cool. I like that idea. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing like Nintendo Land isn't like that big, or Super Nintendo World, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's kind of tiny, so I'm guessing this thing isn't huge either. I mean, that thing's only like 2 rides, right? That's pretty much all they have, if even that.
Well, the building wasn't it like their original warehouse or something? Didn't they say it was a warehouse before?
Yeah, they showed pictures of what it looked like before. So yeah, and Miyamoto had gone there and picked up shit or whatever, because he talked about old times.
I wonder how much this building is the result of people making pilgrimages to Nintendo headquarters and them having to turn people away. Like, I think maybe they realized we need to give them something else to go to. And if that's the case, I would lean toward it being, kind of a smaller thing, maybe like, an afternoon worth of your time at best. I think it's just like there because Nintendo probably got tired of turning people away from visiting their actual working offices, and like they recognize that folks like wanted to go see Nintendo and interact with Nintendo in some way, and not just the theme parks, but like the actual history and the games that they loved. And this is, I think, a really cool reaction from Nintendo, a cool thing to do.
What they should do
I'm
is they
excited
should
for it.
make a video game version of the museum that you can play on the Switch, so you can just walk around it and
Make a demo.
do all the
Like a
different
free demo,
activities.
and you can just look at it. That'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, it was like the factory or the whatever where they originally made Hanafuda cards. So it's not that big, because they show black and white picture of it from back then. So and if you look at, I'm just kind of just poking through the video here, you can see giant. I mean, there's a giant Switch on the ceiling, and there's a giant like GameCube controller, and they have like a kind of like a Mario museum that shows like the evolution of Mario games, and it does have like Mario 3D World with the Wii U and all that. So I mean, they're not gonna hide the Wii U and whatnot. I mean, it'll still be there.
Do you see is the Virtual Boy there? You think?
I didn't see it yet, but I mean, it's got to be somewhere. I mean,
I'm sure it's there. I mean, they had like all the old like board games and stuff from the 60s. I think they've got everything.
And they have like here's our fitness wall where it shows like all the different pads and balance boards, and even like an exercise bike, I guess, that they made at one point is there. So
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you can look at all their shit.
I think I remember hearing that they don't have the burned up Game Boy at the Nintendo store anymore. I wonder if it's
At the New York
there
one?
at the museum now.
I'm just getting moved there.
It's not in the New York store.
They finally let it retire.
Yep.
They decided to burn the rest of it, so it won't work anymore.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yikes.
What do you think about that room with like the giant screen on the floor? It's kind of hard to
I
tell.
think it looks kind of dumb.
It's hard to tell what they're doing because it's all in Japanese. But yeah, there's supposed to be some sort of interactive
Replace a traditional game.
Yeah, with the floor.
I think that's cool that they're bringing more like the traditional stuff inside there, to, like, open people's minds who maybe just came for the Nintendo and Mario and all that stuff. But then I think that they put, I forget what the name of the game was, but it was some traditional. I don't think it was
Are you
Hanafuda.
talking about the card game?
There was the game that was played on the floor. That was called something else. I don't remember what it was called, but it's some traditional game.
Hold on,
Oh, okay.
I just saw it. It's Hyakunin Ishu is what it's called. I don't know what that is, but that's what you're playing.
That's cool.
The traditional Japanese game.
That's the game you're playing with the Hanafuda cards, which I own a
the
deck
floor.
of Hanafuda
Yeah.
cards.
Oh,
They're like a tiny deck, but I have them.
Yeah, you could play. I mean, Hanafuda cards were in the Clubhouse game also. I still couldn't figure out how to play them, but they're in there. It tries to teach you. It's still kind of
I learned
complicated.
that like instead of suits, you have seasons.
Well, yeah. There's like the different designs for that represent suits and whatnot, and you kind of have to memorize what they are. Which there's not that many of them, I guess. If I would have put more effort into it, I probably could have figured it out.
I think it kind of represents like a full year, like almost in a Harvest Moon kind of way, where there's like X amount of days per season.
Oh yeah, they have like all their Pong machines too before like the Game and Watch and the NES. Because they would do like pretty much things that just played Pong. Back in the day of that. So you could see those on there. They just have the little dials, like the little portable dials that I guess they're corded, but like the dial controllers. So that's cool.
Yeah, the whole thing makes me more interested in like, of course, I wanted to go to Japan for forever. I always knew I would go to Tokyo, and knowing that Nintendo was in Kyoto, I was like, well, I would make the effort to go there, but I didn't necessarily know like what would be there beyond looking at the big white Nintendo building. Now, of course, there's I'm sure plenty of other things to do non-Nintendo there, but it just makes me more encouraged to like actually go visit Kyoto specifically. I think this would be a really fun and interesting day at this museum.
Be a spiritual experience. Be like a pilgrimage.
Exactly. Go and pay homage.
Whenever we go back, yeah, we'll definitely have to go here because I want to play around with those giant controllers for sure. I'm gonna steal that giant Wiimote and take it home.
Do you think at the end of the night that they put them in a giant Nyko Wiimote charger?
Yeah, they need to charge them at the end of the night. Maybe just when you set them down, they just charge.
I want like a giant Wormalite.
Yeah, they never made their own charger, so they have to do it now for their giant Wiimote for the museum. I was trying to the only system. I mean, obviously they have like a system wall, but I don't see a 3D or a Virtual Boy, but I'm sure it's in here because all it was showing was like the Famicom.
Maybe it's one of the
exhibits,
NES, and it's an actual virtual reality type.
Yeah, maybe you could like get in there and like each of you gets to be an eye, and it's a giant one that you can stand in, and you can like just see red everywhere and get headaches, and you can only stay in it for a certain amount of time before you have to leave because it will hurt your eyes or whatever. But yeah, the Nintendo Direct.
When does it open? Did they say when it opens?
Yeah, isn't it your birthday? You made a comment about it on this.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of course. Yeah, it opens on my birthday, October 2nd.
Yeah, the 2nd, October 2nd. So it's
that's the day after my mom's birthday.
It's like less than 2 months away. So it's pretty close.
It's after I get married.
Yeah, it's after you get married when you turn into Murray. I mean, when you get married.
When are you going to Japan?
Next year.
The day after I get married.
Yeah.
on the 31st.
Sometime next year or the year after.
October 1st.
It's time to change the plans. Do you think this would sway you to go to Kyoto?
No.
No.
Logistically, I don't know how it would make sense, but if it were, I guess if there was some way to swing it, but just to go to the museum, nah.
Where's the Nintendo Land at? Like that's in Tokyo, right? The whatever.
Correct.
Isn't it part of Universal or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we went to Tokyo Disney, but that was still like a pretty long train ride from where we were staying to there. So I mean, but I don't know where
we definitely want a bullet train somewhere else, and like spend some time there, but I don't think it'll be Kyoto.
I mean, you'll still get some bullet train experience from the airport to wherever you're staying, because unless you're staying next to the airport, you'll ride the bullet train somewhere. Which we had to ride it for like an hour and a half, like out of the airport to Shinjuku, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't know anything else I could say about the Nintendo Direct. I thought it was funny that they let everybody know that there was going to be no Switch successor in there. I was kidding, of course, when I said earlier that there was stuff for Switch 2. But there could be, we could be getting giant controllers for Switch 2. We don't know. It could be happening. We could be getting really, really big Joy-Cons. That's what the future is. So
they're so tenacious about, holding on to the concept of the Direct. They're like, well, we just have to. Well, they didn't say there's no gaming in it, right? There wouldn't be any new Nintendo Switch announcements, but there was absolutely gaming in the Direct.
Yeah, but no, announce of new games or upcoming games or whatever.
I know. What the fuck?
You could play Dr. Mario too. You can see it in the corner while Miyamoto's playing Super Mario Bros. 1. So you could do that. No, I mean, I'm a little bit more excited about this than I am about Super Nintendo World, to tell you the truth. Because I'm
definitely more excited about this than Super Nintendo.
Because Super Nintendo World seems like kind of ho hum to me. Like I said, it's like one ride.
This is like an educational arcade and not a exploitational thingy.
Super Nintendo World seems kind of more expensive than what it's worth. It seemed like you get the full.
I still want to go. I still want to go to Super Nintendo World. I just recognize what it is, and That's for me, like, theme parks. I like Cedar Point, like, big roller coasters and
Yep.
high speed and all that. And that's not what. There's only one Cedar Point, and that's it. But Super Nintendo World, it'll be fun to go pretend that I'm living in Mario Land for a day. But beyond that, I'm more excited by the serious pursuit of the Nintendo Museum. To like go and look into Nintendo history in the place where Nintendo is and has been since 1889, and get their story from their perspective and just kind of like live in it for a day. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, and they don't really, they don't like pull back the curtain like very much on all the stuff that they have. So it's nice to, be like, hey,
right.
Here's a
Well,
we have a bunch of
the hotel.
Yeah. It's like we don't
behind that curtain.
You got to find the right uncle that works there, and then you can, seduce him in a hotel and he'll show you what they got. But
oh boy,
that gets to another point that I wanted to make about this, which is I hope that this is a signifier that Nintendo is going to start representing their history more often and in greater detail and with the respect that it deserves. Like the fact that they've created a museum does this sort of hint that maybe they'll start to put out re-releases of their games in the line of Atari 50 and all that with great documentary footage.
I wouldn't put money on it.
So.
No, I mean I'd like to, but I don't think we're gonna see like digital clips level.
Honestly,
stuff.
You get a lot of stuff in Smash Brothers.
That's true.
In the
Smash Brothers is the one major exception.
And I saw a news thing saying that Sakurai has already been to the museum. So there you go. He's even before it's even open, they already let him in, so he can add some more of that stuff to Smash Brothers if he ever works on one of those again. But yeah, I liked the video more than I thought. I thought I was like, a Nintendo museum is gonna be boring, but they still found a way to make it interactive, and there'll be fun stuff to do in there. And yeah, giant controllers are awesome. So
I mean, I see it, and it definitely looks like something I want to check out. But the scale of it seems so small. It's like, not to say it's not cool, but it just seems almost, I don't know. Like, how would I even ever get in there? There's going to be a real long line.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff. I mean, if you want to go places in Tokyo, a lot of that stuff you should buy the tickets before you get there. Like, it was like how we got tickets to the Ghibli Museum. It was fucking weird. It's like, go to this weird office building and meet this random person on the 5th floor in this room, and then they have your tickets for you. Like, it's very much like that. Like, if you actually want to buy things, like, it's best to order it here. And then set up same thing like for our Tokyo Disney tickets. Like, we bought them, but then we like picked them up from some random stranger like in front of the gate, like when we got there. So it's because it's much harder to try to actually buy them while you're there. So plan your shit ahead of time. Get it all bought before you get there. So you have it.
I'm not that worried about that. My future spouse is very good at planning things.
Anyway, we can move on from there. Why don't we talk about games that we got and games that we've been playing for the week? Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna step away for just a second. I'm gonna grab something to drink. I forgot to get a drink, and I'm very thirsty. I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll take a drink break.
Wet your whistle.
He's like, "Oh my god, I gotta be on this podcast for like 2 hours. I need a beer."
Perhaps
that's how I feel every time.
Hydrogen.
No. Sometimes I do these sober.
Dihydrogen monoxide. I do when we do the day ones.
Yeah. Fun story about this beer here. This is the Bell's beer. So when I went to Kalamazoo the first time, we went to the Bell's brewery, to the Eccentric Cafe, and there's a gift store next to it. And I wanted to go, obviously we're at the Bell's brewery, so I wanted to get some cool beers there that you can't get anywhere else unless you're in Kalamazoo. And I tried this beer here, the Jasmine Lager. It's a tea beer. It's really good. And they would let you taste stuff, because they had a little mini bar there, and they pour you stuff. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I bought the beer, and I was like, well, I tasted it, and I was like, oh, great. And I grabbed a 6-pack. I grabbed a 6-pack of another thing, because I wanted to go to the gift shop first, because the gift shop like closes before everything else does, like gift shops normally close around like 7 or 8, and we weren't going to be done eating there probably till like after 9 or whatever. So I buy this, I'm like all excited. I got this beer. I like told Jess about it. I'm like, oh, I got this great beer. And, I come all the way home from Kalamazoo and I unpack it, and it's not even the right beer. It's a completely different beer. And they have the same exact like logo on it. It just says it was a sour. It was like a summer fruit sour beer, which is good too, but it wasn't the jasmine lager that I had. So Jess reached out to see if they had any friends that were going to Kalamazoo, and it turns out that Caroline was actually in Kalamazoo, and she bought us 2 6-packs of jasmine lager. So I did end up getting it. So that's my jasmine lager story for the patrons. I might cut it out to the actual story, but
Jasmine Lager sounds like someone's name. I don't know. It sounds like somebody who works. It's a lady that works in a forest.
I mean, John would like it. You like jasmine tea. It's a jasmine tea beer. It's very good.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I also have a sister named Jasmine, so that's why I think of the name.
Sure.
Does she live in the forest?
She does.
Yeah. Does she live?
Kind of. Actually, does. She lives like next to some woods.
Does she live in the forest? I have to. All right. Why don't we fuck up? I just want to say it. I think that Jeremy is officially the Nintendo World Champion of this podcast because I saw that you put like 30 plus hours into Nintendo World Championship. I think you've beat.
That's correct.
Both John and I on that aspect of your amount of time that you've poured into the game that you didn't want to begin with, or
Well, they
definitely got his hooks in you. Yeah, I saw you were playing it the other day, and I looked at your time, and it said 30 hours on there, and I was like, "Wow, that's."
That's the big thing.
That's like 3 times. I guess I could John and I did.
I was gonna say I might as well talk about it briefly. I played over 40 hours from what I just checked.
Well, this was a couple days. This was a couple days ago. It was maybe I think it was like Sunday when I checked.
I don't have any reason to play anymore unless I play party mode.
I say that's what you said last week. Do you have S's on everything now?
No, I don't have S's on everything, but I have every badge and I have every player icon unlocked.
Wow.
Yeah, I have everything.
Dedication.
I got in the top 20%, which was the one I was the most proud of.
Oh.
I did that in the I think it was a Kid Icarus stage. Wait, what? No, I don't remember what it was. It couldn't have been because there isn't one on there currently. I'll have to double check, but I got the top 20% on one of the events this past week, and then I immediately, while it was still tabulating, because it says it takes it an hour, I was playing it when it switched over to the new activities.
What time does it switch over? Do you remember? Is it like in the morning?
4:59. Well, 4:59 Pacific time.
In the AM?
Yeah. So it switched over. It kind of like was a bit like Animal Crossing. It reminded me of that, honestly, like when I would like stay awake long enough to see the day.
Oh yeah.
Switch over. But I immediately, like, because I was like, oh, I want to see my results, and it wouldn't let me see my results. It said results are posted 1 hour after. So I'm like, okay, so I guess I'll play. And so I got gold in both the survival modes just to knock it out and have it done. And that got me 2 trophies right there, or 2 badges rather. And then all I had left was the top 20%, and I got that like right away. Oh, and then I think the other one was like participate 3 times in the Nintendo World Champions. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I knocked them all out, and then I'm like, wait, now I have them all. Now all I got to do is get all the icons. So I did that.
And you got to win the gold one a couple times too, right? The hard one, like to get a.
I've won it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've won that every time, multiple times.
Yeah, I've never done well on that one. Well, there's always like one at the beginning that gets me, the golden one. I win the silver one all the time.
Yeah, I'll always get the gold one eventually, and then once I lock it down, I'll start getting it pretty consistently because I just get really good at the games. And so maybe there will be reason to visit it, but there's no longer any tchotchkes to collect. So
you can still, still play it weekly, and and try to get. I've seen people post on like the NVC group, like I'm number 1, like people like showing where they're like the top 0.1% or whatever of it. So it is possible, to be. I mean, if you really try at it,
I haven't gotten my time down to 30 minutes, but I'm at 32 something for the
the legendary boss rush
challenge,
thing, the legendary rush or whatever it's called.
But I do want to film it at some point. I want to film it, and then we'll put it on the YouTube whenever I do break that 30-minute mark, because I almost did, and then I fucked up. Somebody called me, or I can't remember what happened, but something happened where I couldn't pause it, and I probably would have gotten it.
Also, never. Well, I'm
it's
sure.
Okay, though.
Well, you play with the NES controller, right? So you don't have to worry about L and R, like the old
Correct.
L and R, like which that was only when I first got it, where I was used to pressing L and R to rewind, like on the Nintendo Switch Online, and if you do that, it automatically restarts. So if you're playing,
there's no doubt this is the most
yeah
action my NES controllers have gotten since I bought them.
Same.
And they've been on my Switch
on the regular
over a
right?
week.
Yeah, you're keeping them.
And I actually was just thinking about. I just wanted to go back in time to when I was a kid and be like, "Hi, I'm you in the future."
Here's a screen with two controllers.
This is what Nintendo looks like.
You'd be so disappointed. that is like the image of like what a kid would make as. I think this is what Nintendo looks like in the future. Just sticking two NES controllers.
Just looks like a cocktail arcade from above.
Yeah,
I mean, but seeing like I don't know, seeing like a screen like that small that looks better than any of your stupid tube TVs you had by then at that time was pretty cool. I mean, I had I had like a black and white TV like in my room in the NES time, like with a dial that you switch, to change channels or whatever, like with no remote, like I don't know, seeing something like that would kind of like the flat screen and smallness of it would be, I think.
See, at one point we had like a big old like console TV that our neighbor gave us, and the color was so messed up on that. It was like
one of those TVs that was furniture.
Yeah, and
I remember those. Yeah.
It was like a red color because it was a color TV, but it was like from the 70s or whatever, maybe even the late 60s, and it was like it had like a kind of a reddish hue to it, and you couldn't make it any less red no matter how much you messed with the knobs. So we still played it. I mean, it worked. It just the games look like shit.
That should be a filter setting, like on every one of these games.
Shitty TV.
Like the old look
shit.
Just like do one that's like
switch
shit.
It to shit mode. Well, I mean, they put they put scan lines and stuff on. That's kind of like shit mode for me, honestly. I don't really. Yeah, like I'm not like, oh man, I wish this game looked like shit. Turn scan lines on. Like I'm not.
Can you put it in?
Yeah, put it in shit mode.
Fisheye mode for when I'm drunk and I play.
It's like, man, this Street Fighter game's really fun. I wish it looked dumb. Like, can we just like stretch out the characters and make it look like a crappy arcade? Like, yeah, no, I'm never into that. I don't want to just.
Can you put it in macular degeneration mode for later in life?
Just want to make it look cool or whatever. But yeah, you were the official world champion, Jeremy. You've done it. You've.
Yeah, and you know what? I was late to the game, but I was hanging out there after everyone left, and everyone was gone, and I was just looking around the floor trying to find free stuff because everyone else had left. But I stuck around and I played, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. This game was worth every penny, and I own it physically, so
definitely got your nice. You definitely got that. What was it? You got it like for $40 or something. Yeah, you got that $40 worth if you're doing like $1 an hour or whatever.
Deaths. It said deaths in the captions.
So what else have you been doing? I
mean, otherwise, Shauna and I did get the theme in Tetris.
Yeah, I almost forgot about it. Thankfully, it went into Monday. It
did. That's what we did.
Side order. Well, because I've been playing Xenogears so much for Mike's podcast. That was basically all I was doing was playing PS3, which actually brought back my love for PS3. So I was very much a PlayStation person this week. But I was playing that a lot, and I almost forgot about it. And I was trying to get as far as I could, and I didn't beat the game, but I got 53 hours into it. I was almost to the second disc, and apparently when you get to the second disc, it's just like text and bosses. That's really all it is, because they ran out of money or time or whatever. So the character sits in a seat, and it's like, this is what happened in this time, and then you fight a guy, and it's like, here, what happened in this time. So it kind of becomes like a visual novel for a minute. And then there's one final dungeon.
It's because they ran out of development money?
Yeah, it was supposed to be they ran it. Well, there's different people say different things. Like they'll say that they ran out of budget, or that they didn't have enough time to do Takahashi's vision, but he still did it anyway because he wanted the story to end. Because apparently they originally wanted the game to end at the end of disc 1, but Takahashi wanted the full story, and when you beat the game, it actually shows that Xenogears is it's like Star Wars, it ends and it's like, this is chapter 5 of 6, and there's and we're going to do these 5 other games. And they didn't really, but when they went to Xenosaga with with Namco, they did it was supposed to be like what the origins of Xenogears was going to be. So it's all kind of sort of in the same world, but different, because Square owns Xenogears and all that. But I did actually, before I forget, we did actually get a comment on our show last week about Xenogears from Jeremy A. saying, Trey, If you were enjoying Xenogears, you really need to play Chained Echoes. The influence it had on Chained Echoes is evident. Which I've heard that before, actually. Mike was telling me, too, because he did a Chained Echoes episode, that it pulls a lot of stuff from Xenogears, and I love Xenogears.
I was actually supposed to be on that, and I couldn't.
I love Xenogears, so I am definitely more interested in Chained Echoes. It's on my list for sure. Probably whenever it goes on sale again, I'll get it and check it out. So, and thanks for listening and commenting and all that. But yeah,
thank you.
What did you think of the Tetris 99, the new stuff, the side order shit?
Oh yeah, that's what I said at the beginning. I said it's not too bad. It's not too painful. You know, I was.
Are the colors okay for you? They're not too.
Yeah, I was worried it was going to
painful.
be a painful theme, but I actually kind of like it. It's nice. It's kind of got, you know, really antiseptic white sort of thing going on, but all the tiles are quite bright and visible, so that's the best part. So yeah, we played it. My highest place I got was 12. I actually think I did better than Shauna this round, but that's rare. I guess I should just kind of revel in it while I have it. But yeah, my best place was 12th, and we both got the theme, and we were happy. It's been a while since we've done that.
Yeah, I played it. I played it on Sunday night, and I did have one good game where I think I got 16th or 15th. I got in the top 20, so that was cool. But I got it. Yeah, I got this. I felt like I was doing okay for the most part because I hadn't played it in a while. And,
it always takes a bit to get back into Tetris brain, but when you do, it feels so nice. It's like going to visit like an old friend almost. You just feel like you're back in a cozy place. Yeah.
But yeah, it took me. It doesn't take very long to get the theme. I mean, if you do well, if you do badly, it'll take you a long time. But it took me like 30 minutes maybe to get that one. So I still have them all, and I honestly almost forgot about it because I was doing other stuff on Sunday night, which I'll get into whenever it gets to my stuff. But I did. I was like, oh, Tetris 99, because I'm on the streak of never missing a theme, so I'd be upset if I didn't do it. But it's cool that it did actually go into Monday. So if I want to play it at like 4 a.m, whatever, I think I still can. It's still up there. So hooray!
Yeah, the only thing and it was very briefly, but I kind of almost as a prank, but also hoping that I would get a better response. Shauna left the room to go make some food or something while she was in the other room. I was playing video games, doing my thing, and I switched it over to Trombone Champ because I haven't played it in a while. And I wanted to see because there's been some updates, some new songs. So I went to check it out, and yeah, even the cats seemed like they didn't really like it.
Yeah.
Our kitty Margie, her ears were doing the airplane mode thing.
Yeah.
She's just like
trying to find what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, but
what is this noise?
It's so fun.
What is this?
Yeah. Even Shauna came in there and was like, can you stop playing this game? I'm like, hold on, I got to finish this song. And then I played like 2 more. And that was kind of me being like, no, maybe you'll like it eventually. Didn't work that way. So, I mean, I could still play it on my own. It's fine. I can put headphones on.
Yeah, play with headphones.
It's definitely still hilarious. I was still laughing my ass off while I was doing it, but apparently I was the only one who thought it was funny.
It's not really a game for audiences.
I guess not. Even non-human audiences, apparently.
Yeah, I thought it was.
As a side note, they actually announced this week Trombone Champ VR.
Okay.
Oh my god!
I don't know why that's necessary.
I think that's exactly the reason.
It's just to be silly.
It's just the joke of it, yeah. But they call it Trombone Champ Unflattened, so it's brought into VR in real life, and I think it's the same game exactly, but it just made it in VR.
Maybe it's actually more like. No, you're right. Maybe there is a control option where you can move your arm.
Yeah, they should do some sort of motion thing where I guess they already do motion stuff, but do it with it on your head, and you can see those characters' faces like much bigger if you really want to.
It's not hard to find you can find a YouTube video pretty easily where somebody converted an actual trombone into a controller. So
sure, that
could be transported to VR, I would hope.
Or you could just play a trombone.
Technology.
You could just get a trombone and just play it. And just live
just bring harmonics into the mix. Make a fucking plastic trumpet.
Just be a
trombone.
Just be a tromboner. Just do it. Just go out and get it, and you can live it instead of VRing it or whatever.
Yeah, just go
live
trombone
in real life
out in public.
Yeah,
let everyone see your tromboner.
Yeah, become a trombonist or something. Yeah, I played that game like a couple times, and it just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't in the mood for it or something, but I was like, nope. And then I turned it off. Like, I remember I got it.
I think it was, yeah, it was definitely in the mood. And also, like I said, kind of a preemptive prank. But I was happy while I was playing it, And
It's a fun game.
It really does make me happy to play that game.
Sure.
I mean, every time I've played that game, I've laughed or at least smiled. Maybe the effect has worn off a little bit, but I did
if
put 10 hours
even just at the fact that I'm playing it, like the fact that I'm playing it is hilarious to myself.
Yeah, I remember I bought it for a couple bucks when it was on sale, and I booted it up and I played like one little level, and I'm like, oh my god, this game is so annoying. And then I turned it off and I went back and beat Rhythm Sprout. That was that night. So I was like, let's go play this other game that I like better. And that was when I beat it.
I think it sells pretty well.
No, I'm sure it's doing fine.
It's frequently on the top sellers.
Yeah. I mean, it's cheap, and it's cheap and it's quirky and all that, and people, it has that Nintendo flair, I guess. Even though it's not a Nintendo game,
There's
but
still
it feels
time
like
to
a
add
Nintendo game.
songs.
Kinda.
There's still time to add Nintendo songs. Come on, that would totally goose the sales if they ever wanted to do that. Throw in some Nintendo songs, it would be a perfect marriage, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're in the Taiko Drum game. They have Nintendo songs in there. The Taiko Drum Master on Switch. They have like a.
Is that made by Namco?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably
like
why.
Bandai or whatever. I guess Namco.
Yeah,
Bandai.
Namco. Yep.
But no, they have. Well, the one I bought the Japanese version, but it has like the Splatoon theme on it and like Pokemon, and it's got some.
But isn't DK Jungle or isn't it Donkey Kong?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same company as Donkey Konga, and you can. Well, at least I got Donkey Konga bongos to work with it. But yeah, cool. All right. Do you want to talk about your stuff, John?
Yeah, I've only got a few things, so I'll just blaze through them. But
Blaze.
I got back into Pinball FX 3 just ever since we went to Galloping Ghost. I
didn't know there was a 3. Is
that
that what's on Switch? Or no, Pinball FX is different from Zen, right? Because Zen Pinball is like
it's the same thing.
Because I have Zen Pinball. I have Zen Pinball 2 on PS3, which I was fucking around with that a little bit while I was editing. But FX, I thought FX was the one that had the real stuff.
Yeah, it is. So Zen Studios is the company, and Pinball FX 3 is the game.
Okay, but
there was another pinball game on the Switch that you also might be thinking of too. I think that was a Stern Pinball, but that's not the one I'm talking about.
There's a few other ones, but FX, that's the one that has like the Marvel tables and the Star Wars tables and Jaws or whatever else.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
Pinball FX 3 is the one that has, I think, the widest slate of real pinball machines.
And you can switch between like more flashy looking versions or like the classic looking versions. I remember that you could do that. Because like Medieval Madness had like you could either be playing the actual machine or you can make it to have like a CGI dragon.
On
it or
whatever. Yeah.
Like animations and stuff. Yeah.
I think Pinball FX is the one that's based around actual pinball tables, and the Zen Pinball is the fake ones that has like Fantastic Four pinball, which doesn't exist. Because I think they finally added the Marvel games to Switch, but I think it's under its own. I think you have to buy it just as the Marvel games.
Is it?
Like the same?
I think so.
Like you did the same thing with the Star Wars games. I actually have it. It's just called Star Wars Pinball, and it just has all of the Star Wars Zen Pinball games on there.
Yeah, this one, it has Medieval Madness. I believe it has Funhouse. I don't own any of those. When you get to the game, it's free, and you get like 4 tables for free. But I bought the Universal package, which includes
that's one that has Jaws on it, right?
That's why I bought it. Yeah, I bought it for Back to the Future. The Back to the Future one is really cool. But yeah, it's got Jaws and E.T. So I was playing the Back to the Future one the other day for a good 45 minutes or so, and just I really had a good time at the Galloping Ghost Pinball, and
same.
I would say I gained a new appreciation for pinball. Just like how it's one thing to like play a pinball machine at a bowling alley every so often, and like you think you get a sense of it, but I think you get a sense of pinball, what it really is, when you have a bunch of machines in the same room, and you're like, oh, it's not just hitting the ball to trying to keep it out of the pit or whatever. There's actually like in a lot of these different machines, stories and missions and things you're supposed to do, and that's what makes a really good pinball game is when it engages you in that way, and as you try to do different things to advance the story or the plot, or to get further in the game through the special missions that it has for you. And so with with that in mind, I was like, let me give Pinball FX 3. I've been feeling like I wanted to play a pinball game again, and I think it really is the best pinball video game that I've ever played. Not that I didn't realize that before, but I was just reminded of it.
Yeah, it's really good. One thing I really wish, and maybe they don't do this because it gets them extra money, but I always wish that that it would be like cross-platform, because I have pinball games that I bought on PlayStation 3, I have pinball games that I bought on Wii U, I have pinball games that I bought on 3DS, I have pinball games that I bought on Switch, I have ones that I bought on PS4. Like, why can't they just be all together on every system? Because there's some times where I bought doubles because I didn't know like which one was on whatever, So it's like, that's what's really annoying about it, because it's like, well, because I bought a ton of them on PS3, like when it first came out, when the Zen stuff first came out, I bought all the Marvel shit then. But it's like, I'm not going to buy that all over again on Switch, and I guess I did buy the Star Wars one, but it was on sale, and I did already have those on PS3, and it's just, I wish they could just like make it to where you could just like have a profile and just bring your shit to whatever system you're on,
I'm surprised that they haven't applied a subscription model to their pinball program,
because they do have a lot on offer. Yeah, if they want to do cross-platform things, like
let you transfer your import tables or whatever. I know you can do it like, I mean, you can import them if you already bought them on the same system, but I don't think you can do it from like system to system or whatever. You should be able to be able to log in and be like, hey, I already bought the Marvel one back on PS3. Let me play it on Switch or PS5 or whatever.
Yeah, and if you have to pay like $1 or whatever the difference would be to pay the different stores, if you bought it on the Nintendo eShop versus the Sony versus the Microsoft, whatever, cool. Like, just charge $1. Don't charge like the full thing, but you already bought it, so give me some kind of discount.
I think it would be fun to like take an old TV, like an old like flat screen TV, and make a pinball, like a video pinball out of it. Just put a Switch dock. And people have done it, I'm not the first to come up with this thought, but it would be fun to just that, and that's the perfect one. Like, throw it in the Pinball FX.
Well, they do have. I mean, we've seen the ones at MGC where like it's like a virtual pinball machine that has a big like flat tablet on the middle of it, and you can play it like on a screen, like a pinball like that, and those are cool. Like
But it seems like a simple enough project. Not that I know much about making electronics and all that, take the flat screen TV and make it into a pinball table. I guess the challenge would be that a flat screen TV isn't really the same dimensions as a pinball table.
No.
So it would have to like be smaller on the TV to make it an actual pinball, dimensions and all that.
Well, yeah, they make it to fit in like a regular size pinball machine. So like it has like wood around it, but then it just has the screen on the top. So you're looking into it and it looks like you're looking into a pinball machine, and then you got the buttons on the side. And I thought it was a pretty cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as making one, I wouldn't be able to do that.
After we got back from Galloping Ghost, I did look at Arcade 1-Up, and I was wondering what the pricing was on their pinball machines. And it isn't in line. It is in line with the other machines. Like, I thought it might be a little cheaper or something. But yeah, they're around $700. So it's nothing to sneeze at.
But they're larger screens.
They're larger screens, and yeah, I would definitely consider getting at least one of those.
Hopefully, you would only need one.
I would think so. There is a Star Wars one. They have a Star Wars one. I think I could be wrong, but I thought they have a Star Wars one.
That would definitely be something I'd want to hack, since it's such a unique profile.
Put everything
right. I would definitely be on the same page. The other ones I wouldn't want to hack them. I would want to get the individual machines, but I don't want to have like a bunch of these pinball tables. I'd rather get like a main pinball machine, basically.
Yep.
I did dive into F-Zero 99 for a minute. I was enticed by
how's that game doing?
Rewards.
You enticed by you get rewards for playing it, or you get points or whatever, right? Platinum points.
It flashed on my screen. I said you can earn platinum points. And, all right, I clicked the home button and it said play Donkey Kong Country. I did for a minute, and then play F-Zero 99. I didn't. You're supposed to actually cross the finish line. I didn't even make it across the finish line, so I did not get my points. But
You got to
I think
actually
fun.
do things. I thought you just had to turn it on and you just automatically.
You could have
got the
played
points.
it.
Yeah, you could have played it again. It would have happened eventually. That you would have got across the finish line. It's not. I mean, play the 99 mode. It's easier. Like, don't do like the classic mode or the events or whatever. Like the regular mode is the easiest one to pass. In my opinion.
I think I did. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, I haven't played that game in a while. I should see what's going on with it.
I played more Tears of the Kingdom. I did find the what you call it, the Yiga clan. Infiltrate the.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You did find it.
I found it. I didn't get in there yet though. I still have to locate the other hideouts in order to gain entry. So that's what I was working on this week on Tears of the Kingdom. But the biggest thing that happened this week, video game wise, was I think I might have mentioned it on the show before, but I refurbished my old toy chest. I had painted it about maybe 4 months ago now. When I brought it back home, in different lighting, I realized, oh, wait a minute, I missed a few spots. And so I was just kind of discouraged because I got to put another coat on and it's a whole process. I had to go buy a tarp to put down on the floor because I'm doing it in my apartment now versus, the main job I did it in my parents' garage. And, they have big open space and they had the supplies and all that stuff. So I was like, I got to get a tarp and do this, blah, blah, blah. And it's a long story short, I put it off until basically I got COVID, and that's when I kind of got the itch to like do some stuff. And so, I laid out the tarp and I ended up finishing up a couple of days ago, and I put the cabinet back together, and I put it out in my living room. I had to rearrange my living room. That was another thing that was kind of deterring me. Is like I know that I don't actually have space to put this in the room yet, so. All right, so I finally finished it yesterday, and I rearranged my living room, and I found a perfect spot for it. And I say all this on our show to say that I'm using it as a storage space for video game accessories. So I've got in there.
Yeah, so you got some guitars in there and whatnot.
I got my power pad in there. I got the Wii Fit board. I got guitars. I got the activator. All this stuff that was living in a storage bin, depressingly. And I thought I want to have like a nice bin to put this in that like actually looks good, not a plastic storage bin, but a wood box, and have it sit by the TV.
It can be furniture also, and then you can actually pull stuff out and use it.
Correct.
It's like your own hope chest.
My own hope chest. My hope is video games.
Yeah, so you got 2 Mario Kart Wii wheels in there.
I do have 2 Wii wheels in there.
Yeah, I don't have any.
It's a lot of stuff that I'm not likely to use. But I just felt it was depressing to keep it in a storage bin in a closet.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's there if I ever feel like putting the activator back together and busting out some Eternal Champions.
I'd say the other comparison would be like a lot of people have a trunk at the end of their bed that just has a bunch of blankets in it. It's like,
yep,
yeah,
same kind of thing.
This is the stuff I'm going to bust out to make other people comfortable when they come over, or whatever. Like
that's exactly it.
All my stuff.
I think if I bust out the Samba de Amigo Wii maracas, that would make people uncomfortable.
Yeah, so I saw the maracas in there too. Yeah, it's
depending on the crowd. Yes, it could.
Yeah, it's like let's see what kind of stuff John has in here. It's like here's maracas, and there's like a couple guitars and the zapper. Oh yeah, and the infamous whatever the fuck, what was it called? The Wii one?
Activator.
What's the Wii zapper thing? The crossbow training that came with.
I think it was called the Wii Zapper.
Yeah, was it?
I do have that.
I thought it had a different name or something. I mean, I never owned that, but my it was like a third party one, but it's back there somewhere.
The Nyko Perfect Shot.
Like I had, the Perfect Shot was really cool. Like because I used it for.
Didn't Nerf do one
for House of the Dead?
Probably.
They probably did, but I didn't get it. And also, I saw your sadly unused Ring Fit adventure in there. I mean, mine's over here. Mine's like under this cart thing. So
I did pull out my ring.
Mine's not getting used either. You stretched your ring?
Yeah, it's a little bit. See if it still has the stretchers.
Just see if it works still.
Yeah, it still works. It still does a stretcher.
Did you actually play it, or did you just mess with it.
No. I still have the alarm set on the Switch, so at 1:30 p.m. Monday through Friday,
it'll tell you to do
wants me to play. And then whenever I boot up my Switch, literally every time it'll ask me if I want to boot up Ring Fit, and I always have to say no. So I feel kind of bad. I should play it.
Wow, it reminds you. It's so often too. I mean, you have to just say.
At least
no
it's
to it
not like
every day.
Wii Fit. It's like you haven't weighed Keenan and Kel. How are they doing?
Yeah, I never did the cat weighing thing. I don't want to bring them into that. They don't.
Well,
they don't.
You
deserve
shouldn't.
It. They don't
I think
deserve
both
that.
Keenan and Kel feel shame from that still.
Yeah, they don't need that. They don't need that negativity on them.
They already have enough to worry about. Like they gotta poop and eat and sleep.
Yeah,
Look out the window.
I mean, they got to look cute like 24 hours a day. That's their main jobs.
Exhibit their dominance to each other.
Yeah, look cute and bug
puffing and puffing.
Bug you like crazy for food. The regular cat schedule. That's what my cats do. They look cute and meow a lot and jump on me and sometimes bite me.
It's either the schedule or the chaos.
Yep.
That's it for me.
All right. Well, why don't we take a break and then I'll talk about my stuff and then we'll talk about the news stuff.
Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go!
And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
All right, we're back from the break. Let's talk about what I've been doing. Like I said, I played a lot of Xenogears up till Sunday because we recorded on Sunday morning. But my gift to myself was supposed to be playing non-Xenogears stuff Sunday night, so I did that. But actually, I was actually, Jeremy and I, we kind of switched positions this week. You were playing Nintendo Switch, and I'm playing PlayStation stuff. Crazy. Correct. It's like season 3 of the X-Files or whatever.
I know.
Or was
And
that
suddenly I've
4?
got this alien baby in my womb.
Yeah. Well, the one where they like switch, where like Mulder doesn't believe in aliens anymore and Scully does, where they switch their ways. It's like season 4 or 5. It's before the movie. But I did actually play. I don't want to talk about Fortnite too much because people don't really care about Fortnite. But I did actually want to play Fortnite this week, and I played Fortnite with Joe and Logan on the stream. And you might be kind of interested in this as well, John. Is that they've revamped Fortnite with a whole bunch of Marvel shit. Like they basically turned Fortnite into Marvel World. So, which is really cool. Which is really cool. So it's called Fortnite Season 4 Absolute Doom is what it's called. And Doom's castle is like on the island of Fortnite. So, and you get to, and it's like this this is alternate world where Doom has defeated all of the Fantastic Four, and you can see pieces of them in his castle if you survive long enough to see those. And I don't think you're even playing the real Doom. I think you're playing a Doom bot because because you can beat that Doom, and the real Doom cannot be defeated because he is the ultimate being or whatever. But it's pretty cool because Doom's throne is actually made out of the Thing's skin, so it's like a rock throne that has like legs on it. So it basically looks like he killed the Thing and turned him into a throne that he sits on, which is pretty fucked up. And you can also find a case that has a ball wrapped up that has it's like a blue ball that has the circle of the 4 circle on it, which is supposed to be that he tied up Reed Richards and stuck him into this case, and he's forever stuck as this like ball rolled up. And his fireplace has Human Torch's heart burning on it. So like the Human Torch is dead, and his heart is burning on the fireplace. And there's also
it like a flame.
And there's another there's also a room with an empty seat inside of a cage, which is the Invisible Woman encaged there. So there's some cool like little stuff that you can find. Not to mention you can collect War Machine's armor and like different weapons of War Machine, which is pretty rad. Like you can get this like sort of missile thing that like goes over your shoulder that'll automatically shoot at people like when they get next to you and that sort of thing. And you can get a backpack where you can fly around like War Machine and Iron Man. And there's these like kind of Hulk hands that you can get where you can punch people and like knock them across the world. So yeah, we were having a lot of fun with it. I was actually interested in it because of all the Marvel stuff. And there's like a Mysterio land too from Spider-Man, so you get to fight fucking Fishbulb Head if you want to. Emma Frost is in there, aka White Queen with her diamond skin and all that. You can kill her. We killed her and we killed Mysterio also, but we didn't get to kill Doctor Doom. But and you can see Galactus's head in the water, like when you're jumping out of the bus. You can see like the whole head of Galactus, like cut off and stuck in the water. It's supposed to be this alternate world where everybody died and Doom is victorious.
Is it still the same island? It's just different architecture on it, or is it a different shape island completely?
I mean, the island's still like the same, but they keep changing it. Like they keep adding stuff to it. Like for a while there were all these Peter Griffins running around, they did the Dragon Ball Z thing, but they also did like there were Greek gods and shit where you could actually like get like all these, you get like Zeus's power and all this stuff. Like they've gone crazy with all the different shit you can get and use, and they did actually do they did like an Avatar thing, not the blue people, the airbenders, where you could actually like, bend the air and like whatever shit. So, I play it off and on with Joe and Logan, but yeah, I was kind of interested in it because of the Doom stuff, and it is pretty cool. And I did actually download it on my PS4 to see what it would look like if it didn't look like shit, because it doesn't really look great on Switch. It has a lot of times where you're running across the world and there's just no textures on anything. It's all just like this big flat area where you can't see anything. And I'm like, I should try playing this on a better system and see what it looks like. But yeah, that's check out Fortnite. It's free. You can download it and get the Doom shit on there. I put a link on here just for all the Easter eggs. There's a shit ton of Easter eggs. You can find like the Eye of Agamotto and and like whatever. And you can see like this Iron Man shit, and it's pretty cool. Like, the Silver Surfer's broken surfboard is in the Doom castle. There's like these little Doom ice creams that you can find that are advertised around, which are pretty funny. But yeah, just a whole bunch, like Moon Knight's blade. Like, so I guess he killed Moon Knight. So there's all this like evidence of different characters that he killed. And there's like you can find like Ultron's head and like Magneto's
killed everybody.
Magneto's helmet also, because I guess they did a Magneto related thing. Oh yeah, Thanos' helmet, so he killed Thanos also.
Did they kill any of the X-Mans?
I mean, not that I've seen, but I mean, you can get a Deadpool and Wolverine skins, obviously, because and of course any other X-Men. You can get like Cyclops and and Psylocke and all sorts of different X-Men skins if you want to. Well, you can
as long as Jean Grey is safe.
you can earn points and get all that shit, or buy them if you want to do that sort of thing.
Because I wouldn't want anything to ever happen to Jean Grey, because that could be weird.
I want to. I would like to get a different skin because I'm still using that same skin that you get for free when it first launched for Switch in 2017 or whatever it was. I'm still using that same one, so I should try to get a different one or something. I just don't really want to
You got to get some V-Bucks.
I don't want to put any money into it, but if you play it enough, you can earn V-Bucks. Like Joe has the Magneto skin, and he didn't buy that. Like he just played the game enough and earned the V-Bucks to buy it with. So it's basically that. If you have the Battle Pass and you play it enough, it'll earn itself enough. You'll earn enough to buy the Battle Pass every time without actually having to spend money on it. Like that's the idea. If you want to put time into it.
I've played it enough to where I was able to buy some like aesthetic stuff, but I don't think I ever could afford a Battle Pass.
That's the
I think
idea.
that's the reason I never got into it. Is just I don't know. To me, the not saying that necessarily Fortnite does this, but maybe does to some degree. A lot of the free to play games do the Vegas aesthetic, where like every corner of the screen just looks like it's for sale. There's I don't know. I don't like being pressured to buy things.
It's not really like that.
They actually do it. They actually do it better than most of the other free to play stuff. Like I don't really see, and I couldn't find nothing is like thrown at me or saying like, hey, get this. You actually you have to look for that to find that in Fortnite. In other games,
and kids will find it.
Yeah,
they find shit.
The only reason I found it was because I actually looked at it, but I honestly haven't looked at skins on that in a long ass time. I just go to the regular game, and the Fortnite that you played whenever it came to Switch is so different than what it is now. Like you can it's like practically Grand Theft Auto now because even in the and you can come back to life now. They have like the reboot mode, which I mentioned before, where as long as somebody is alive in your team, they can basically use these like reboot vans and like bring you back to life as long as they're still alive up to a point. When it gets to like maybe like 5 people, you can't do it anymore when it gets towards the end of the match. But it's pretty cool to have that in there. And now you can drive cars also, and you can fire outside of the cars. And there was a mode where you could add like a fucking, giant cannon on top of your car, and you like run out of gas and you can buy gas at gas stations. Like there's just all this shit that you can do in the game now. You can ride a train. There's like all these different areas that have different things. Like, like we went to the prison, we went to like Doom, to Doom's castle, we went to like Mysterio's area. Like they've really like decked out all the areas. It feels like it's a whole fucking world now, like an open world sort of thing. And it really doesn't try to sell shit to you. You can easily just get in there and just do your shit and just, be done with it. But it does kind of,
Trey, Fortnite Defender Johnson.
Well, it was the Marvel stuff that that intrigued me on it. But I've played it, I've dropped on it enough to like see that. I was impressed when they added fucking planes in there, when we were playing that way back when we could fly a plane.
See, I mistook them for stars.
Like I was like, what the fuck? Or like when you were Spider-Man and you could like you can web sling and stuff. I was like, this is crazy. Or like, when they did the fucking Dragon Ball Z and you can float around on a cloud and like whatever Dragon Ball each other, like whatever they call that, the Kumahamaha or whatever it's called. Like I was like, this game is insane. Like I don't understand any of this, but it's still like people are just doing shit on there. So
it's fun. It's a playground, and you can just play however you want. And some people take it pretty serious, but if you just play the main mode and hop into the battle royale, you can just like do whatever you want. You can just hide and listen for people to drive up in cars and snipe them. Like all the vehicles are really loud. Like you can literally just camp and no one's gonna hate you for it because you're just playing.
People were doing some crazy shit while we were playing. Like there was this group where like somebody like pretends like they're almost dead. Like they'll like crouch on the ground and look like they're not moving. And then you come in and try to kill them. And then people like jumped out of the trees and ambushed us. Like people got their own fucking strategies now on Fortnite. It's insane. Like there were a few times that people tricked us into making themselves look like they're vulnerable. And then they just jump on us and destroy us and all that. It's like, yeah, people are really, really serious about that shit.
I know I've said it on this show before, but a lot of kids that were, in their formative years, which is a lot of kids that couldn't go to school during the whole COVID thing. Like Fortnite became Fortnite became their
Playground.
recess. It was their recess. It was like, this is where we're gonna go, like, let loose and hang out with our friends, and it really, like, I heard about that from, I mean, I know all my nieces and nephews play it, but even at the time, I remember hearing from coworkers like whose kids were school age that was just kind of how they were connecting with their friends still. And you're a physical, whatever. It's not quite like virtual reality, but you're running around in a space and you can talk to each other and you can kind of be silly. And like Trey was just saying, you can have a strategy. Maybe that's not what everybody did, but at the same time, you could also be hanging out with like 20 friends, like you're on the playground. And I don't know. It's kind of a beautiful thing, and it definitely worked in that game's favor.
When they like hang out and watch,
everybody's obsessed with that game now.
When they hang out and watch concerts and stuff, like within the Fortnite world, like there's all this like they have like events or whatever where there's performances from people.
And let's not forget, it's a whole ecosystem of games.
Yeah, and now there's like the Guitar Hero Rock Band stuff in there, and the racing and the Lego Fortnite and all that. Now it's like 4 games. Now it's just not even just one. It's multiple things you can do. It's just us growing up with like where you get like one shitty NES game and you had to play it for however long. I just makes me a little jealous of these kids who get like this game for free that's like just constantly changing. Like you could just play Fortnite and just be fine, like if you wanted to just do that and nothing else. It's just they're always adding shit to it, now you don't even have to build shit anymore. Like we always played like the zero build one, and there's there's all these different shit you can do even in just the regular Fortnite world or whatever. It's just I'm not very good at it, but it's still kind of fun.
It's a fun game. I should hop back into it because on the PS5, that's where I got my first Battle Royale, or whatever, my Victory Royale. So I am kind of attached to the PS5 version.
Yeah, sure.
Also, supposedly, according to my coworker whose son is college age, the Guitar Hero controllers are starting to become popular again. So maybe all of our plastic controllers will get valuable.
Yeah, I want them to. I want it to make it. I want it to be compatible with. Well, I'd have to find a way to USB it or something. There
are ones that
right?
are. They've already
ones.
made newer models that are compatible with it.
Yeah. So, but that's enough about Fortnite. But so Sunday night, I said Sunday night after we recorded Xenogears, I was planning on I was going to be like, all right, I'm not going to play Xenogears. That was my plan. But if I got I was like, if I make it through like all that shit, I had a plan to get a couple PlayStation 3 games. So I did buy some new PlayStation 3 games. Well, actually, they're not PlayStation 3 games. They're actually I bought a PlayStation 1 game and a PlayStation 2 game for my PS3, and actually did buy a PS3 game, but I never got to play it because it took forever to download. I still haven't been able to try it yet. But I was just kind of looking through because the PlayStation 3 store is like still open, but it's still really hard to buy anything. Like I went through this whole fucking thing because I wanted Capcom vs. SNK 2 is available on PS3, the PS2 version. And I love that game, and I was like, well, it's like $10. Like I was like, let's buy that and play it because I love that game so much. I have it for GameCube already, but who knows when it's going to be released on Switch, and it'd be nice to play it on a newer system or whatever. And the cool thing with the PS3 is I can actually hook up my leverless controller to it, and it works like a dream. It works great. Like I don't have to worry about all the shit that you have to worry about PS4 with, which I'll get into later. But at the PS3 one, it works great. You plug it right in, set it for PS5 even. Works like a dream. It doesn't time out.
So is it wireless or does it need to be plugged in?
No, it's plugged in, but it's
you plug it in. You plug it in to pair it, but then you can unplug it and use it wirelessly.
No, it has to be plugged in. It doesn't work wirelessly.
Is that how it always is?
Yeah, that's how it always is.
Oh,
it's part of the fighting thing. If you have it plugged in, then it won't. Then you won't have to deal with delays and all that. That's the idea. I mean, they do make wireless ones, but it kind of goes against the point of like having a fight stick is that you don't want to have any delay. Like you want it to be like all that sort of thing. Like when we had Daniel Thors on the show, he showed his like controller that he had with the super long cord. Like I've seen that the PlayStation 4 one with the 6 buttons that has like the 10-foot cord. The idea is you want to keep it plugged in because then you don't have to worry about delay. But yeah, I plugged it in. I got Capcom versus SNK 2. I played through that. I got through the arcade. Had like kind of a hard time at the end, which I was like blasting through it, and then I got stuck on the final boss. But I'm using the leverless controller. I'm kind of getting used to doing the different moves and all that, and I got a bunch of them off with that. And I played Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which actually I already had on PS3. I re-downloaded all this stuff while I was playing Xenogears. And I found like some shortcuts on there. Shortcuts is in like you can do things like if you hold the down button and you tap forward twice and hit A, you can do the Dragon Punch like really quick like that. The Shoryuken, which I've seen, and it works differently depending on what game you do it with. But on Street Fighter 3 it does that. Apparently it does it on Street Fighter 6 as well. But I haven't really tried it out there that much. But the main thing that I got that I was really happy about is about Street Fighter Alpha 3, which I actually have playing on the back over here. And Street Fighter Alpha 3 for PlayStation 1. Now, this is the third time that I purchased Street Fighter Alpha 3. I have it for Game Boy Advance, and I have it. It's in the Street Fighter collection on the Nintendo Switch.
Would you say that this is your third strike?
Well, Third Strike's a different game, but yeah, it's my third. Well, the reason that I bought Street Fighter Alpha 3 on PlayStation in particular is that PlayStation has like an RPG mode in it, and I always wanted to have that. Because my friend Tony, who I lived with, Tony Harrison at LCC, we played the crap out of Street Fighter Alpha 3, and it has this mode called World Tour, basically where you go around to all the different stages, and you can actually upgrade your character. You actually get experience points, and you can make your moves like stronger. You can like make yourself have your super meter at all times. There's stuff you can do to alter your character. And I always wanted to play that, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to buy the PlayStation 3 game, or the PlayStation 1 game on PlayStation 3, because that's the big thing. Like, none of these PlayStation 1 games are available on PS5, like the ones that are available on PS3. Like, hardly any of them are. Like, I don't fucking get it. Maybe they're just waiting for the PS3 shit to finally die out, and then they'll move the virtual console of the PS1 over to PS5. I don't know, like, because I can't find any of these on PS4, like the PlayStation 1 versions of a lot of these games. But anyway, it's an awesome game to play. I played a bunch of the World Tour. I played through the arcade mode, and I was just kind of like fucking around trying to remember a lot of the moves that I had forgotten, and also learn how to do them with the leverless controller, which I think I've got it kind of down where it seems like it's kind of become more natural to me now. Because I was playing, which I actually had this game already, Mortal Kombat 2, because you actually can't buy it. You have to re-download it. You can only get it if you've already bought it before. And I did buy the arcade port on PlayStation 3 for Mortal Kombat 2, which was made by Digital Eclipse, which is pretty cool. I saw their name on the title there. But I was doing moves faster than I've ever done before with the leverless controller. Like, I was hitting that fucking Raiden Superman move like quicker than I've ever done, because tap moves are like really easy to do on there. And there's a lot of tap moves on Mortal Kombat games. So I'm like, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was bouncing off the guy and then going right at him again over and over and over again. I was like, wow, I've never done it this fast. I think I did it so fast that it almost broke the game. Like the game started like stuttering and started like kind of breaking because I was, I don't know, moving too fast on it or something like that. And I was like, wow, this port kind of sucks. But I mean, I already had it. I didn't buy it or anything. But the idea was, I just like, I got my two TVs. I put like wrestling on one TV, and I was playing fighting games on the other TV. And I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and just rock moves with the leverless controller, and just watch fucking Rampage and Collision, and that's what I did, and it was a lot of fun. And I played through most of those. I tried to play Marvel vs. Capcom Origins. I still suck at that game. I got my ass beat by the computer still. But also one more PlayStation thing I did is yesterday, the 20th, Timesplitters. The Timesplitters Trilogy has officially been released on the PlayStation Store now. And these are like ports of the PlayStation 2 game. Like, there's really no updates on it. Like, the only difference is you can save state now, which you can do that on like any of the stuff, right, Jeremy? You've played a lot of the PlayStation 2 stuff that's on PS5. If you push the touchpad thing in the middle, it'll pause the game regularly. But if you hit like the options button, then you can do save state and load or whatever.
It's like split along the left and right side.
Yeah, it's supposed to be select and start, but I hit both sides and they do the same thing. Maybe that's just for Timesplitters. Maybe select and start are the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I only played it on GameCube, which only has start and not select, so I wouldn't even know. But I played through Timesplitters 1 for the first time, and I beat it. I beat the game. I got the credits. Put it up on the Twitter and all that, and I got through it in like 3 or 4 hours, I think. It's so much simpler than Timesplitters 2 and 3. Like, it almost feels super primitive. It's kind of crazy because all the levels are basically capture the flag levels. Like, you'll start off You'll start off at like a red circle, and it'll say, and there's no story at all. Like there's no cutscenes, there's no voiceover. It doesn't explain anything. It just drops you into a level, and that's it. And it'll be like, and you just press pause, and it'll be like, hey, go find this thing and bring it to this place. And the first like 4 or 5 levels is basically grab a thing, bring it back to where you started, and that's the end. And you can blow through these levels in like 4 or 5 minutes, like if you know how to do them. But there's no, of course, there's no checkpoints, there's no save states. In the original game, you can save, which I only did once. I only did it for one level, which was really, really annoying, where I did save state just because I kept dying and going all the way back to the beginning, and I was like, fuck this. But you basically go from the beginning to the end, and you see the DNA of Timesplitters 2, and they're obviously the characters, like the animations, they kind of move the same way. But yeah, it's really bare bones. And I was thinking about it, like what you do in this game, like as the regular single player, like you can create these levels in Timesplitters 2, because Timesplitters 2 added like a map editor and all that stuff. So, like, what you can do with Capture the Flag, like what the base game is in Timesplitters, is something that you can create your own game of in the second one. Like, that's just such a huge leap from one to another. So I got all the way through Timesplitters 1, and I beat it. And then I started up Timesplitters 2, and then it has this, like, big, like, full voiceover, like acted, whatever mocap thing at the beginning of that one, which is like, it's like miles beyond like what that first Timesplitters game is. But what I did is, so I bought Timesplitters 1. I bought that for $10, and I didn't want to pay a full $30 for all 3 of the games. So I bought the PlayStation Premium for $4 because they like prorate it because it's farther into the month. So I got the whole thing for $4, so I could get all 3 of the games pretty much for $4. So my plan is just to play through all 3 of them and probably cancel it at the end of the month or whatever. But
I say that premium's nice. I have been missing it.
You get a lot of shit. Well, you were I think you were on the catalog mode, right? Because you got to go all the way to the top for the fucking Timesplitters thing, which is weird. But I was like, well, and it went down. Like when it came out, they're like, oh, you can get all 3 of the Timesplitters right now for $5. And then after I beat Timesplitters 1, it's like, well, you can get them all now for $3. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll just do that. I'll just do the premium and download them and just see how long I can fuck around with it. And I am really excited to try to play it with the backbone, because I like the idea of playing like a little first person shooter with those analog sticks, because
I want to hear about that,
because most handhelds don't really have. I mean, none of them have analogs that good. I guess Switch does, but they're still kind of small. I even bought the bigger Joy-Cons for that, for if I actually want to play full on first person shooter stuff. So I'm excited to play. I'll definitely fuck around with that while I'm doing the editing this podcast tomorrow and all that. But I got through the first level of Timesplitters 2 on normal mode, and I thought I had done that before, but I don't think I have, because there's this whole boss in normal mode that I've never played before, that I don't remember playing. Because, the great thing about Timesplitters 2 is they make it like GoldenEye, to where there's more goals if you're playing it on a harder difficulty. So they're completely different games. So like, I'm used to the original one where you just go and you find the time crystal, and then the portal shows up, and then you leave. But in the normal mode, you actually have to do all the time crystal shit. But then you also have to restore the power and take the elevator all the way to the top of the dam. And then there's giant guns up there, and you have to fight a big ship, a big flying plane.
You have to jump off the dam,
which I don't remember, and I don't remember fighting the giant ship. And I thought I had gone through some normal stuff in there, but yeah, I couldn't find the portal, because I thought it was by the time crystal, because that's what I normally do. Anyway, it's been kind of fun to play through it again with all that stuff. And now I'm on the Chicago level, which I don't remember any of that level. That's the second one where it's like all the
That's where you get the typewriter,
the mobster stuff or whatever. Yeah, I did get the Chicago typewriter, as they call it, the Tommy gun, which is one of my favorite guns to use in video games. And I remember some of the levels from Timesplitters 1 just because they showed up as deathmatch levels in 2, but I never actually played Timesplitters 1. So I got to play it, but yeah, that game is really, really, really bare bones, like super, super duper bare bones. Like no story whatsoever. It has a story mode, but the story is just like get thing, take it to one thing, that's the end, But there was this one level that's like like the horror level where you have to fight the zombies and you have to shoot their heads off to kill them, otherwise they'll keep coming back to life. And that one, they have these zombies with shotguns that hide behind walls, and if you don't if you're not paying attention, like they can take you out in like a second because the shotguns have so much damage to them. So I was getting killed like halfway through the thing. So I did start, once I figured it out, I started doing save states just for that level. That was the only one I used save states on, just because it's a long ass level and I didn't want to keep going.
Save states are okay.
All the way back to the beginning.
Don't have to apologize for them.
I'm just saying, I beat the whole game without save states except for that one level. The fucking horror level was killing me with the zombies.
Okay.
So, but yeah, but it's really cool to have Timesplitters on there. It's on PlayStation, but at least it's somewhere. At least it's available somewhere. It hasn't been available at all digitally, like anywhere. So I mean, hooray! And of course, I tagged Night Dive Studios on my post, and I was like, "Hey, I'd really love to see Night Dive Studios do this." Nudge, nudge. Trying to be like, hopefully you guys are trying to work something out here because I would love to see.
Right.
I would love to see a remake of these games now that it's actually out again. And I did actually see some people that I follow from the original development team post about it being available on PlayStation and all that.
Oh, cool.
So it's really cool, yeah. On Twitter, I saw people posting being like, hey, here's the guy, here's some, like an old picture of like the team when they made Timesplitters, being like, hey, we got it out there. We got it out there again. It's available. Go get it. So I saw people posting.
I just want to play
through. But you can get Timesplitters right now for $10. You could get it for $10 and play it on your PlayStation 5. You could do that if you could spare $10 for your.
Are you talking about the first one or the third one?
I'm talking about the third one. You can buy the third one for $10 right now. You, Jeremy, can buy it and play it on your PS5. It is out.
Wow.
Yeah, or you can pay whatever the prorated version of premium and get it like that. But you probably don't want to do that because then you have to cancel it again.
Right. I'll probably just buy it because I did find my copy of the GameCube Timesplitters 2. So I guess I won't get to experience the first Timesplitters. Not yet.
I mean, someday you will. It's
someday.
It's $10. I would say
I don't really care that much about it.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to play it because I never have.
Wasn't it?
It's
2 was the first time that was dual analog, right?
No, it's dual analog on 1.
It started with dual analog, or did it just retrofit it into that?
No, I mean it's a PlayStation launch game. It's a PlayStation 2 game, yeah. It was
utilized dual analog because they didn't even have PS2. Never mind.
PlayStation 2 did. Right. It's not a PS1 game. Originally, I thought it might have been a PS1 game, but it isn't.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it has dual analog. I mean, it looks the characters they do look like they do in the in the later ones, like the way the characters move, but they just look much nicer in the later games. And maybe this is just the emulation on PS4, but PlayStation 2 games look kind of bad on there. They look kind of muddy, like the look of it is. Maybe just because it's emulation. They're not really like, they're not HDing it or anything like that. It's just pretty much a straight port. So it doesn't look great. I think 2 looks better than 3 or better than 1, but 1 looked kind of muddy from what I was playing of it. Like kind of like what 64 games looked like originally, at least like.
But you're playing it on PS4 or PS3?
I'm playing it on PS4.
Okay,
but it's a PlayStation 2 version on PS4, so I imagine it would look the same on PS5, right? It would still kind of have that because it's not. They don't.
But it might look better on PS3.
Oh, well, maybe I don't know. I played Capcom vs SNK 2. That's a PlayStation 2 game, and I thought it looked fine. But I mean, that's like that's pixel graphics. Maybe it looks better because of that. So I don't know.
What I've played of Dark Cloud looked fine on. It looks TV, but then again, I don't have anything to compare it to.
It looks fine. It just looks muddy. Like when you play a 64 system, like originally, it kind of has that dark, almost like a filter over it, where everything kind of looks like it should be brighter, like that sort of thing. Like it's
the smear.
Yeah, it looks like it would have been like if I was playing it on a PS2 on a CRT TV, like it would probably look better. Like if I was actually playing it on the original system on like an old TV, it would probably look better. But it looks like darker or whatever. So yeah, and the thing, I guess I forgot to say, it wasn't funny, it was incredibly annoying. When I was trying to buy games on PlayStation 3, so this is all the things you have to do to buy a PlayStation 3 game. I went to Amazon and I bought a PlayStation Store digital code, instant. That's easy. You can do that part. You put the code in, it shows up on your wallet, cool. And then you try to buy a game, won't let you do it. It won't let you do it at all, and I tried it like over and over and over again. It kept like not letting me do it because it kept asking me for my card, and you can't use your bank card on PlayStation 3 anymore because of whatever. Because they keep taking shit away from it. So I looked online, and basically you have to delete all of your bank accounts off of your PlayStation account in order for you to use money that is already in your wallet. It's so stupid. It is so fucking stupid. Even though it will not let you cannot use your card on the PlayStation 3 store. You just can't use it. But you still have to take it out of there so it won't try to do it, and then it'll let you use the money that's already in your account. It just boggles my mind. But how
it's
bad
like
it
you
works.
have to make the PS3 forget that it ever knew.
Yeah, it has to make it
outside world.
because it's still going to try to charge this card, but it just can't do it because they got rid of that thing for it or whatever the fuck. It's really stupid. So it was a pain in the ass to get those games, but I finally got them and they're great. Oh yeah, and the PS3 game that I got was actually Street Fighter X Tekken, which I've never played, and I always really wanted to, because it was $20 and it's like 15 gigs, and it takes forever to download anything on PS3. So someday I'll play that game whenever it gets fully downloaded. And I had to delete some stuff too, but whatever. It's gonna be fun to fuck around with because I always wanted to play that game. And yeah, there's not that many games you can get digitally still on PS3, but that one was there. So yeah. And as far as the using my leverless on the PlayStation 4, so I figured out. I know I said before I tried using it, and sometimes it would stop working, and I have to unplug it and plug it back in. This works for PlayStation 4 and 5 if you're not using a specific first-party PlayStation arcade stick or whatever. It'll only work for 8 minutes, and then it'll stop working, and then you have to restart it. You have to unplug it and plug it back in. So you only get 8-minute increments. So in order to do it, I watched the whole video about it. You basically have to buy a licensed PlayStation arcade stick and plug it into your Hot 42 stick to get it to work as a pass-through because it'll recognize it as that one. Or you can buy this little boot USB thing that's super tiny, that's the same price as the Hot 42 leverless controller. So that sucks.
It does suck.
You have to buy this little USB thing for $50, or you just unplug it and replug it in every 8 minutes, which sucks too. So I mean,
that's reminding me of how their USB-C port is slightly different or whatever. They're just yeah.
So yeah, I figured out that so that blows, because I wanted to be able to use it for Street Fighter 6 and and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and any other fighting games that I have on.
But ultimately, you have to trick it into thinking it's an official piece of tech.
Yeah, the boot thing, you just kind of put it on the side, and then it'll show up on the system as a PlayStation-made fighting stick or whatever. It's really fucking stupid. So
is there any version of this? I'm not saying you should do it, but I wonder if they make a version of this that doesn't need that extra dongle or whatever.
Yeah,
even if it's not official.
I was trying to fuck around because I upgraded the firmware or whatever in the controller, but it didn't it didn't that's not going to make it work now. You still need that pass through. So I was trying to find another way around it if I could just download something for it, but I couldn't find that. So I don't know. I mean, it's fine. Like I said, it works great on PS3. I'll just play it on that, I guess, for the most part. But yeah. I'd like to use it for Street Fighter 6. I never beat that game. But then, beating the game with single player, I can't use the leverless anyway because you need 2 analog sticks to go through the single player because of the open world and all that shit. So, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, yeah, I've been playing a lot of PlayStation stuff. And since I had the premium, I downloaded a bunch of shit, which we'll see if I actually get to it or not. But I downloaded Star Wars Episode 1 for PlayStation 1. I always wanted to play that game. I heard it was awful, but I still want to play it. I downloaded Jedi Starfighter, which that was an Xbox 360 exclusive, I think. I never got to, or an Xbox original one. Never got to play that game. You
can play Parappa too.
I downloaded Rebel Assault 2, which was an FMV PC game that I played in high school, which was really shitty. So we'll see how bad that is on there. But yeah, I just downloaded a bunch of dumb games. Then I did see Parappa 2 on there and thought about getting it, but I didn't get it yet. So that'll be fun to fuck around with some of that stuff. But I mostly downloaded PS1, PS2 games. I downloaded the re-release of Super Star Wars that they did, the Super Nintendo one, just to see if I can get trophies on that or whatever. But they never released Super Empire in Return, right? Either it was just that first one. They just did the regular Star Wars one, which is weird. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Lots of fun PlayStation stuff there.
Cool. Well, let's
go
through the news.
Do some news.
News. Don't snooze or you miss the news.
All right. Well, so the new releases this week there's actually a lot of decent ones coming out. Mika and the Witch's Mountain, which is the one that looks like Kiki Delivery Service. If you remember seeing that one, it's a 3D little witch game. You can carry stuff around and deliver it. There's actually a demo for it out right now, and it's on sale for $16.99 until September the 7th. So I did download the demo, but I haven't got to play it yet. Stumble Guys, which looks kind of like Fall Guys, like that's out. It's free to play. I downloaded it. I don't know. Who knows how much I'll fuck around with it, but it's kind of the same thing. You walk wobbly to different things, and I think there's a rumble.
It's like a
mode
Wish version of Fall Guys.
There's you can ride cars too. There's like a racing mode in there. I don't know. I thought this one was interesting because actually I think Jeremy A, who commented earlier, I think he was the one that kept telling me to play Rise Eterna, the original version on Switch, which I got for a couple bucks, but I haven't really gotten to fuck around with it that much. But Rise Eterna 2 War is out now for $10, so I'll have to check out Rise Eterna 1 before I look at 2. But I always thought it kind of looked like Fire Emblem, but it's kind of a little bit more actiony on the combat. The Sam and Max trilogy is out this week. I completely forgot that was coming out, but it's $45. It's 3 games, so imagine it like $15 per game, I guess.
Cool.
I played Volume 1 on Wii, and I thought it was a decent amount of game for the price of it, because I played full price for that when it came out. And I don't know,
I like those games.
You're a point-and-click fan, so, you can check
I would do that.
out.
Maybe not for $45, but on sale.
Yeah,
That,
when it goes, I'm sure it'll go down. Operation Polygon Storm is actually, that's an Untold Tales game. Friends of ours. I actually got a code for this one, so I'm hoping to fuck around with it. It's a real-time strategy game. I don't know. I'm always interested to see how these games work on consoles, because they're always based around like mouse movement or whatever. So I'll fuck around with that, and next week have some impressions on that. Castaway, it's a 2D Zelda-like, looks like Link's Awakening. I guess there's 2 parts. There's the map world that you can get through in a couple hours, and then there's like a tower where you go where you go from like room to room and try to get as far as you can, like sort of that sort of thing. Just Crow Things came out last week. That's like Ultimate Goose Game, but with crows. I thought that looked kind of cool. And I haven't seen either.
It's the best crow thing coming out this month for sure.
I was wondering what UGG
right?
stood for. It's like, and then you just said Ultimate Goose Game. I'm like, that's not what it was.
Untitled Goose Game. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Sounds like
There's
murder.
a game called, very nice. There's a game called Minami Lane, which I thought looked kind of cool. I thought maybe Jess might be into it. Looks like Animal Crossing, like the Polly Pocket version, but all set in Japan. So it looks interesting, like bite size Animal Crossing gameplay.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, take a look at the trailer. I think Jess would like this game from what I've seen. And then there's a Magical Delicacy, which honestly I forget what that is. So it's not important.
It was important at some point.
There's some demos out for Mika and the Witch's Mountain, and then probably the big demo this week would be Famicom Detective Club MEO The Smiling Man, which I did download. I didn't try it yet though.
Yeah, you're gonna try that out, right? Because you're interested in it.
I'm interested in this series. I wouldn't get this one first. I would get the other 2 if anything.
The also Dredge the Iron Rig is out now. There's a new DLC for Dredge.
Wow.
So they're doing.
I should check out Dredge to see what's happening.
Doing another one. It's $11.99.
Sale right now.
It's out. It's out as of right now. I remember seeing the announcement for it, but yeah, you can buy it. I never really did.
$12.
I never really did anything with the ice stuff. You should probably finish the ice stuff first, because I think you have that too, don't you? The DLC.
I do.
The last one.
I don't actually, because it was part of my subscription service.
Oh, you didn't have it on? No, I thought you had it on Switch because you played Dredge on the Switch while you were camping.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, when you went on that big trip, you had it there.
I'm confusing it with that other game.
There's a rumor saying that the Switch successor will begin production next quarter.
Oh, I thought. Yeah, isn't next quarter still like this year though? Like the production, as in like the starting of making of it. Because I think next quarter starts like. Yeah, the next quarter is September, is next month. So that would be when they would start making it, I guess, is what the rumor is. So next quarter doesn't mean like next year. It means like, according to them, next quarter is September of 2024. So that's a couple weeks away.
The assembly lines are working.
So it's I mean, cool. Yeah, there seemed to be some more like rumors popping up about that. Have you seen? There's like various price tags. Like people were saying 400, now they're saying like 500 for it.
I think 5.
5 seems like.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was less than 5. To be honest,
Given everything, given that all the other systems are going north price wise, given the inflation, all that stuff.
Well,
but if it was 4, I'd be
happy
happy.
with $500.
Well, I mean the OLED is $350 right now. Like the OLED model is selling for $350. So if they release like a whole new system at $400, like that seems kind of, I don't know. But like isn't the PlayStation 5 like $400 though? Like wouldn't it be like less?
It's like it keeps going down in price. Like I got it for like 420.
Yeah,
something like that.
Because I thought you could kind of I mean, in some places I thought you could get it for almost $3, like in certain sales.
It's probably
bundles or whatever.
But it's also like 4 years old at this point, and I think Nintendo realizes they're competing with the next generation. They're actually starting the next generation with this system.
I know they are, but I think it's going to be less. I mean, it's not going to be as powerful as the PS5.
They're not
though.
The next generation. That's not a thing anymore.
I'm just saying, like, it'd be kind of crazy,
especially not with the Nintendo,
for the Switch to be more expensive than a system that is more powerful than it. I understand it's not portable, but. Like that seems like a little bit like it's like here's the Switch for $500. It's not as powerful as the PS5 that's like $300. It's like kind of. I guess they were kind of doing that with the Switch still, where where it's kind of the same, but one's way more powerful than the other. I don't know. It's just kind of. I mean, hopefully they do a little bit more than it just being a PS4.
I mean,
game on
you
the
get
go.
a PS4 for cheaper than a Switch.
I mean, you can get PS4 for like $100.
Technically more powerful.
Places. Yeah.
This analyst said it would cost under $499, so I mean maybe $450.
So $498.
That's probably that $450 could happen, I think, and I would be fine paying up to $500. Beyond that, I would be a little leery.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to buy it if it's $500, but I would understand if that's what it costs. It's going to take me a while to buy it if it's $500. I'm not going to buy it day one like I bought the Switch for $300.
I mean, it might not even come out till the end of next year too. Like for all we know, I don't know. It's funny the way they refer to that, where it's like it will cost under $499. Why not say like under $500? Why $499?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of a hilarious way to say it. I don't know.
Because that's market speak.
It won't be $1 more than $498. Okay, sure, dude.
I had a thought about the Switch too, just because my buddy Rich showed me his new phone. And he got a folding screen phone.
Oh, did you finally see one of those in real life?
Yeah, I think those cool. They're kind of cool. When I see the commercial for it, I always think of it like it always reminds me of like the 3DS or the DS. Is it as cool looking in real life?
I mean, it kind of broke my brain for a minute because he didn't tell me it was a folding phone until he just folded it in half. It's like, oh, my brain said, oh, he broke his phone with his hand just right there. But yeah, it's smooth, it's cool, and I think, man, what a perfect application that would be for the Switch too. If we could finally get the clamshell design back, because everybody prefers the clamshell design for handhelds, and the DS games. I mean, come on, hello, that would be fantastic for DS on NSO and 3DS, and Game & Watch even. Man, imagine getting a Game & Watch NSO on this thing. That would be cool.
Yeah,
and I think it seems like something that they would do, and obviously the screen technology is cheap enough to
it's got to get cheaper.
Offered on phones.
One thing I've seen is that the actual the hinge is kind of like the
how does the hinge work? Like you can't see that there's like can you see where it would fold or whatever
on the back? I didn't look that closely.
The hinges can be like a place where like detritus, whatever, like accumulates, and you can get your like screen scratched and stuff. But I know it's like also like more of a plasticky and it can't be glass.
Yeah. I mean, when it was closed, it just looked like a Game Boy Advance SP. You can definitely, see the hinge on the back side of the phone. And I didn't examine it. Maybe next time I meet him, I'll take a little closer look.
Let me see your phone, Rich. Give me your phone. I want to look at it. Let me see it.
Until it's one solid unit that clamps and opens without any sort of external thingy. Like the folding screen to me is like, it's just inviting all this stuff to mess up your screen, because now you've got like entry points for shit to go in there.
You get clamped in between.
Uh-huh.
Scratched up. Yeah.
So I don't know if I think Capcom probably heard us last week, but it seems like Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection actually has a release date, or at least it seems to be leaking because of retailers listing it for November 22nd, which seems
They're all
about right
listing it for that,
me.
yep.
So, I mean, everybody kind of seemed to think it would be a holiday thing. I was hoping it would come out sooner because I'd really like to play it, but yeah, I mean, and I don't think they've officially released a video with it on there. It's just people are just kind of putting it there, so hopefully that's what the time is. But yeah, Capcom, just like
Sounds about right to me.
show it already, dude. Like, come on, get on that.
I think they realized that would be a fantastic seller on Christmas Day, and if some folks have it a month before, load it up on their Switch and bring it to Grandma's house, and whoa, there's a Marvel fighting game on Switch. Sweet. I mean, that would be a big hit.
Grandma loves this game. She always plays.
She always plays as Venom.
What's the guy from
yeah.
Mega Man? The little guy.
Roll or no? Zero or no? What's
the one that looks like
Rush
that
Jet?
looks like Legos?
Oh yeah, I don't know, those little minion guys. I don't think you can play as them directly.
You can.
You can play as Roll. I know that the lady robot. She's in there in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I was gonna say, like, Grandma really. Hey, Grandma, can you play the Punisher with me and we can shoot people in the face? Like, you can play Nick Fury. It'll be fun. We'll destroy Kingpin in his building and all that. It'll be great.
Some games got announced. Broken Sword: Shadow of the Templars Reforged. This is a game series that I revisited recently on the Switch.
It's a point and click, right?
It's a point and click. Yeah, I have number 5, which I think it's called The Serpent's Curse. And it's just a really nice, relaxing, laid back point and click adventure. It's almost like got some Indiana Jones, quality to it, some vibes to it. Like just in the way that you're going on an adventure and you're like looking at artifacts and exploring another country. And it takes place in a realistic environment. In the game that I have, you're walking around France, exploring France, and it's just different kind of relaxing gameplay, which I like. So this would be I think this is the first of the series, which I remember from the advertisements that I got with my copy of Toonstruck. Remember, there was a demo on there.
Yeah.
There was a demo for it on Toonstruck, and so I played the demo for this back in the day. But I'd like to get this game.
Nice.
This other game looks pretty cool. It's called Nico Dorico.
Yeah, I saw somebody posted on the NVC group. But yeah, it looks like
it's a combo of Crash Bandicoot and Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Donkey Kong Country Returns. But yeah, there's also levels where you run at the camera like you would in like Crash Bandicoot.
I never realized how much those gameplay types kind of go together. Like Crash Bandicoot, at least from what little I've played of it, is kind of Donkey Kong Country, but in a forward-moving perspective.
Donkey Kong Country, if it was bad, I don't know. I don't like those games, but yeah, I mean, I played plenty of them. There was a collection that you could get on PlayStation Plus way back when that I played on PSP, and I can never get into any of them. The one I liked the most was the racing game, which I still think is really hard, but yeah, I mean,
Let's talk about this.
Interested in this one. I'm just interested in it, and I heard that David Wise would be doing the soundtrack. So cool, he's awesome. Put him on everything.
Let's talk for a minute about this Sonic X Shadow Generations Special Edition.
Yeah, why is it?
First of all, brace yourself. It's $249.
Why? Do you
because
get
it comes
do
with
you get the Sonic milkshake and like how to make it? Oh yeah, it
does come with a lot of stuff. I mean, there was a whole spread I didn't really look too deeply into. I think there's soundtrack stuff in there, but the main feature is there's a really cool statue of Sonic and Shadow standing on a replica Dreamcast. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that they're removable because I'm looking at it right now, and there's different shoes you can give them. So they must not be attached to the Dreamcast because there's all these alternate shoes that you can put on Shadow and Sonic, and there's also little chows, and there's of course always there like an art book and a soundtrack and a bunch of other shit. I mean, that's expensive. I mean,
I will not be paying $250. I will be getting the basic version.
I mean, I think even the regular game is kind of a little pricey for a game that I actually already have on my PlayStation 3, but it doesn't have the Sonic version. But it's like $50. That is kind of a little high for a re-release. Especially for a game that I have on my PlayStation 3 already. But
It will certainly
We'll
be
see.
on sale 3 months after release.
That's true. I mean, I waited for Sonic Frontiers and got that for $20. So, and I love that game. So it wasn't. I would if they made a Sonic Frontiers 2, I would buy it at full price. But yeah.
Another one that I'm going to love for sure is the Plucky Squire,
Yeah.
which got a release date finally of September 17th, which is coming up in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's my brother's birthday that we all hung
Very
out
nice.
with.
Yeah. He's feeling all right, right? He's okay.
Yeah, he was fun.
I think that game looks awesome. Better and better every time I see it. IGN had a first impression. A lot of people gave their first impressions, which were all overwhelmingly positive. They were like, "This game is, magical and charming, and just very original." And I'm so looking forward to this game. I won't be getting it right away, but I'll get it sometime for sure. Another one I wanted to mention real quick was Civilization 7, which there was a presentation.
Haven't you guys ever played those games? I think, Jeremy, you got one, right? Didn't you get a physical version of it? Of one of them?
I did,
for
but
Switch?
it was one of those cases of where it was like, just download some shit. But yes, I do. I own Civilization 6.
Yeah, you had to like install it or something, so you didn't play it. The only Civilization
Civ
I
6
ever
is always on sale.
The only thing I ever played was there was a Civilization game for DS, for either DS or 3DS. I think it was DS. And I played that. But I don't care about these games. But I mean, I know people really like them.
This is the one where you can make God, like if like Gandhi, due to an error, was like super aggressive, right?
Correct. Yep.
That's about all I know about the game, other than that I own one of them.
So you can make it
I've been
like
intrigued by it. Like
you can make it like Gandhi
like,
2 from UHF, where he like goes around and beats people up. Give me a steak, medium
Young
rare.
Gandhi.
Weird Al also featured in Civilization as a prominent world leader. Yep.
Yeah, he shows up as the Conan, or no, he wouldn't be him. But I was thinking about Conan the Librarian that cuts the guy in half. But, I mean, it was Rambo where he was all muscled out. I remember him wearing a muscle suit.
I've been feeling like I want to play one of these games. Of course, I like SimCity, like a sort of cousin game to it, but I've never tried Civilization. And these games are always on sale, and I'm always tempted to get the game that's always like $6 or something. But every time I'm about to buy it, I'm like, this doesn't feel like something I want to play on the Switch. It feels like
I've heard really good
play.
things about a game called City Skylines. It's supposed to.
Oh yeah, true.
I
haven't tried it,
that's
but
on Switch
I've heard
too.
I've heard that's like a better version of Civ from people that play it.
Better version. Huh?
It's like more SimCity, Civ combined, I think.
I always thought about getting it for Jess because they like doing city building and stuff like that. But I never got around to it because I don't know how well it runs on Switch. But yeah, people do like it.
Also, I just don't want to play it. That's why I haven't gotten around to it.
I've said before on the show that I want to probably get a cheap gaming PC at some point in the near future, and this seems like a game that I would pick up and finally try at that point. There's a game called Beyond Galaxy Land, which I thought Trey would be interested in because the pitch is it's Star Wars meets classic Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it. I mean, I've seen pictures of it, but yeah, I don't know.
I want to pay attention.
Yeah, I don't know. I just played Xenogears, which is like this sci-fi RPG. I don't think anything would
that's coming out
stack
on
up to that.
September 24th.
Yeah,
another one. I think
there's some other stuff going on around that time. That might be. I mean, that's pretty close.
Yeah,
to
it's
the
a
wedding.
pretty busy time. Also, there's a new Zelda game that comes around.
Yeah,
Yes.
also
Sky Oceans,
which will be the Legend of Zelda game will actually be playable at PAX West, so people will be able to play it. It'll be there.
we'll hear about it soon.
Yeah.
You have an interest in Sky Oceans, the Skies of Arcadia spiritual successor?
Of course.
I did see. I saw it and I thought it looked all right. I mean, it does kind of look like was it Vice? That was his name, the main character. It does kind of look like they've actually modeled it after the game. So sure, yeah, it piqued my interest. It's like an October game, right? So I mean, I think that's. I think that month is pretty loaded. But I mean, who knows? Maybe if it's a $20 game or less, I might try it out. But sure, and it kind of, and I watched the video of it, and yeah, it does like look kind of like, what I would think of Skies of Arcadia, like kind of with that simple graphics now, but thought it was pretty great in GameCube times. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it's
You'll be hitting your 5-year
well.
anniversary around then.
That's true. October 13th. That'll be 3 days after that.
We got to talk about this movie next. This will wake me up. Sega is making an Eternal Champions movie.
Yeah.
What the hell? And why the hell not? Fantastic.
That's
Great.
kind of that's kind of a out of nowhere sort of ad thing. It's like yeah, we're making movies of every stupid video game. Why don't we do this? Not that Eternal Champions is a stupid video game. I'm just saying.
Thank you for immediately correcting yourself.
I'm just saying there's a lot of stupid movies about stupid games like we talked about last week with Borderlands. But I mean, sure, if they're going to make an Eternal Champions movie, it doesn't have to be like batshit crazy or something. But I like But I like what you were saying, and this is what I want more. Is give me I would totally play like a modern Eternal Champions that's like a Mortal Kombat. Like make it like one of the new Mortal Kombats with like a sick ass story mode and like, you know, a bunch of single player stuff and like online shit and all that. And I'd totally be into it if they could make like an actual modern, you know, fighting game, because fighting games are, you know, they're doing real good right now. It's the fighting renaissance, as they say.
Yeah,
and
I think there's room.
Do it properly.
For
make a good new like 3D one, and that'd be really cool. Like I'd love to see like a Mortal Kombat level Eternal Champions. You know,
the AAA treatment. I think there's only as far as, you know, Mortal Kombat, like. You know, among fighting games, I think Mortal Kombat is the only like gory, really bloody, violent fighting game out there. Am I wrong?
I mean, there were other ones that happened around the time. What was it, like Tattoo Assassins or whatever it was called? There was that one. There was one that actually did. Happened. There was one that actually did have nudalities in it. There was a game that really did have nudity in it. I think I posted it on the Slack. They talked about it on a Video Game Apocalypse episode, but yeah, there was one that was like Mortal Kombat. Well, we had so many that came and went. You know, we had like Mace the Dark Ages and like War Gods and like all these other like shitty midway Biofreaks, like all these fucking violent Mortal Kombat wannabes that, you know, came and went. I mean, even Killer Instinct had like finishing moves, like Killer Instinct 1 and 2 did. I don't know if the new Xbox stuff does, but you know, they were all kind of chasing that, you know, no pun intended, the Mortal Kombat dragon. They're chasing that the whole time, so, you know.
But any last honest attempt at a Mortal Kombat style fighting game, violent, gory fighting game, is like 25 years ago at this point. And so I think bring back Eternal Champions and make a good, like really gory fighting game. And the differentiator is you have this element of they come from all different times, and there's a sci-fi element to it, and there's like one guy is like a vampire. One guy is a 1930s, you know, street thug. One guy is a friggin' caveman. I mean, this could be a cool movie. It could be a cool movie and a cool, you know, rebirthed game series. Give some love to Eternal Champions. I'm not the only one who's holding a candle for this series.
I have one of them, don't I? Because there's like a video out there in the internet of us playing it, of John and I playing that game. So don't I have it?
I think I did come to your place and we played it. Did I bring it? No.
I think I got it because I had just bought the Sega Genesis.
Okay, yeah, you must have it.
Because I think I had it, and I was like, "Here, John, tell me how to play." And you're like, "I don't know how to," and I'm like, "Okay." So
first thing to learn how to play Storm Champions, do not plug in your Sega activator. That's not going to help you at all.
No, here it is right here. It was posted 6 years ago, and it's got 23 views. I'll put it in the description. And yeah, it's a NintenDomain drunk plays Eternal Champions. So
yep, we were both drunk.
That was my. I mean, I think I got it for pretty cheap at MGC or somewhere. So I do have it. I should try to play it again. It's a shame
I'm legit excited about this movie.
Yeah, it's a shame it wasn't on the Mega Drive Mini. Like, I don't think it was on the American one either.
Or it wasn't even on the Sega Classics collection.
Yeah, it's not on the
collection.
Yeah, they should at least like put it out on Switch, like, you know, just or like re-release it on the you know, on the Switch Online expansion pass, whatever. Like, put it on there so we can play it.
It's a solid fighting game. Put out the Sega CD one as well, which I've never played, but that's the one that turned the violence up a notch and got really gory.
And yes, I see that. I see the fucking whatever, the Mega Man dude in there. I don't know what his name is, but yes, he's in there. The fucking Lego looking guy with the yellow head. I didn't remember all the characters that were in there.
Servbot.
But Roll is in there too. It's like Servbot, like from what's it called? Like
I think it's from Legends.
Mystery Science Theater.
2 other quick bits of movie news. Borderlands slipped to 9th place this week. Came in only its second weekend at 2.2 million. It's like certified the biggest bomb of the year.
Well, they've made it. They made it to 10 million. So they turned a corner with that. They made it to 10 million. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they made 1/16 of their budget.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't care about the movie. But I mean, it's from what I heard, it's not even like whether it's violent or not. It's just fucking boring, and like all the jokes are really not funny, and they're all
I really think that the studio.
I hear it's just a bad movie.
Put the squeeze on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, from what it came out to, it's just a bland ass movie that's really boring. Like, you know, that's what you get. It's got some really unfunny humor, which is a lot of movies out there, but this one is worse than most, I guess.
Well, and then Nicolas Cage is going to be playing John Madden in Amazon's Madden movie, which they did. They did mention in the blurb that.
I mean, I'll definitely be watching it because it's Nick Cage, but goddamn,
it's
is there going to be a different version every year?
Yeah, they're just going to re-release it, and he'll talk about the newest players or whatever.
They did mention in the blurb about this movie. They did mention the games as well, so I guess that's going to play a significant feature.
How does anyone in modern history know anything about John Madden besides the video games? To be honest,
well, that's why we need a biography movie with Nicolas Cage.
I know he was like
such a terrible choice.
I guess he was also a legendary announcer, but that was like in the late '80s or early '90s. So it's like
I heard he played football.
It's like there might as well be Harry Carey baseball. No, I get it. He did actually play football, and he was like a really good football player. So I get that. And he was a coach too, right?
Like don't make it all toxic and put him in a fucking fat suit. Like don't do that. Like really, we're beyond that. Like seriously.
And don't make him be like John Madden, and then he like does Hulk mode.
If you want to make a movie about fat people, hire actual fat people. Don't like fucking put skinny people in fat suits. Like it's so fucking disrespectful. Like stop fucking doing that.
Just make a Dick Butkus movie, right?
Yeah, Dick Butkus was the guy who was in the Hamburger movie, by the way, that we talked about whenever we talked about that movie in our expansion pack episode. That was the guy that was in the Hamburger, the motion picture, was Dick Butkus. But yeah, John Madden movie with Nicolas Cage. I don't know. That sounds like a terrible idea to me, but
we'll watch it.
Somebody, I'll watch it. I'll watch it when it's free somewhere, maybe.
I'll get friends together. We'll be like,
if I get enough drinks.
Here's Nick Cage as John Madden, iconic football announcer, and I've got multiple people that would want to watch that movie with me.
I'll buy it at GameStop in 20 years for $1.
Sean just overheard me say that. Was like, I would watch it.
Wait, so it's on sale for like $5.
Yeah, maybe. I just realized the thing I'm most excited about in the future is, as far as video game properties, is the John Madden movie with Nicolas Cage. I actually have to see this. Getting kind of hype for it.
I'd watch it.
And if not, there's always some kind of Audible I could watch. Probably.
I'll watch it when it
And
shows
last,
up. For
that was my
Max
football
or
joke.
whatever.
Last, we got some Legos, new Lego stuff. New Lego Animal Crossing, cool, and Lego Mario Kart, which is a continuation of the Lego Mario series, which I continue to just not be excited about at all. I don't think it looks like Lego or like Mario.
I feel the same
The
way.
only thing I ever liked was the minifigures, but I can't, or not the minifigures, but the mini sets you could buy. Like, and I can't find those anymore, but those were my favorite part of that whole thing. You get the like little $5, kind of like the things I sent y'all for Christmas last year, but it was like Lego themed, or it was like, of course it was Lego themed. It was Nintendo themed.
Well, mine
like,
was a Batman one, probably because it had to go.
But it was
with
like
my
those
Batman,
for the whole Nintendo
setup,
set.
which I did put it up there. But
I wish I could find those.
I don't think the Animal Crossing one looks all that great either. They're all too small, and they don't really. I don't know. They seem way too small for like what they're.
Are they actual minifigs though? Like, is there
these
like,
ones are tiny?
Figs, yep.
That's cool. Because I don't think the Mario Kart has their own like minifigs.
Yeah, they're just I don't know. Maybe like the Able Sisters one is kind of cool, but they're still like so small. Like I don't know. Like there wasn't any that I was like, oh yeah, let's get these.
Also, there's actually a Lincoln Logs game coming out. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably so.
But what if there was?
Yeah, but that's good. That's good on news. And I forgot to say what my nickname meant. I just want to say that. Chastity Detroit is the name of a character from Timesplitters. So in Timesplitters 1, you can always play one or two characters because you can play it in two-player, you know? And there's either, like, it's very much a game of its time. You have, like, your regular character, and then you have this ridiculously busty lady version that you play as, and Chastity Detroit is one of those. And it's just, like, obviously their name is Chastity. It's stupid. It's very stupid, and very much looks like a you know, a 90s style game with that, like these, you know, with the big booby ladies or whatever. It's silly as fuck. But yeah, that's where Chastity Detroit came from. Hopefully she's from Detroit. I think that was from one of the future levels or something like that. But anyway, yeah, that's been our episode. Thanks for listening all the way to the end if you did that. And go to all of our websites. Go to NintenDomain.com. No. Yeah, you can go to NintenDomain.com. That'll actually NintenDomainPodcast.com. That'll actually show you a bunch of other stuff. But most importantly, go to patreon.com/NintenDomain Podcast. And, you know, if you like listening to us for free, you know, throw us some bones, and here's some extra stuff that we did. We got a bunch of, we have 65 episodes recorded technically, and the 64th one will be out in the next, like, week or so, and then 65 will be out next month. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff for you to listen to on there. Not to mention, like, early videos of us recording that are unedited, and, like, you know, WRT radio and whatever else. And there's some extra shit there as well on top of that. So go there, and if you support at the $5 level, you'll get, like, stickers and shit like that. And if you're even higher than that, you get posters and whatnot. But posters and mugs. So check that out on patreon.com/NintenDomain Podcast. And also, you can catch me streaming every Monday night at twitch.tv/NintenDomain Podcast. You know, when we were talking about Fortnite, we streamed that on there. So we kind of do, you know, we don't do as much AEW stuff, but we still do occasionally. You know,
I would like to play Fortnite with y'all.
We got a big, if we need we start around like 11:30 every Friday. Not Friday, every Monday.
Monday.
At 11:30. So I can text you about it if we don't have because Shake doesn't really
play. Kind of makes sense.
I
would want to.
Doesn't really play 4-player, but you could jump in with Logan and Joe. If
I always work early on Tuesdays, so it kind of makes sense that I would.
I mean, we only play for like a couple hours. Like, we don't really go that late. Like, we'll do hour and a half, 2 hours. But yeah, check that on there. And you can find me on the forever dying website, Twitter/X, at Nintendo_domain. And whatnot. I'm still getting a lot of views for those video game ads on there. I'm up to like 500 something, so hooray. People keep looking at that shit. I just posted the ad of my favorite game of all time, Mario's Missing. I've never played that game ever, but it's a funny ad because it's like the best game ever, and we all know that's not true. Or at least John does. I never played it, but I heard it was bad, and I never got around to it.
It's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't buy
the day that I bought it, the difference between a Nintendo-made game and a game licensed by Nintendo.
Did you ever play Mario's Time Machine?
I never did.
Oh,
that was probably
it's even worse.
Yeah, that was not very good either, I heard.
But it actually has like a mode 7 game you got to play where you're surfing and you're going through like the time continuum. Maybe we should do an episode about that.
I do like mode 7 stuff. So there's that. Anyway, all right. Yeah. We've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
John Knitter.
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Nintendo Cage style. Wait, Nicolas Cage style. Yeah, man, I fucked up.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Nintendo Cage.
like Nintendo Cage.
Is the brother to Johnny Cage or Sega Cage. I just want a whole bunch of people with video game names with Cage at the end. Like Luke Cage and Johnny
Sega
Cage and
Cage.
Nicolas Cage. We need Sega Cage and Dreamcast Cage
Mario
and,
Cage.
and Christian Cage. Oh wait, no, he's a real person too.
Sonic the Hedge Cage.
Wii U Cage, Switch Cage, whatever Cage.
In Cage.
Yeah, Engage Cage. Yeah, the Engage Cage, the Game Gear Cage.
All right, I'm going to bed.
All right, later.
Later.
I'm gonna go watch wrestling and play
Yes.
play fighting games later. Jeremy's falling asleep in the background before we can work around it.
No, I am getting sleepy too. I worked all day and then I got
Yeah,
up
sure.
work in the morning as well.